What?
I hear fiddling. Okay, sounds good.
Just a little bit.
Okay, trying to reach that link. Got it. No, I've said it before, but every time I try and get the link for these from the Hangout, sometimes the link thing just closes on its own. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, time to type cast in all caps. With gonna do the ats. Buried on Mars. Hey, which are you using, Yoshi or Ben now?
I really don't care. We can use Yoshi. We can use Ben. I don't care.
Yoshi's locked right now.
Yeah,
What's going on? We gotta talk about that. That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Going on? He's got 2 accounts. Ladies are banging down his door, I guess. Okay, then main topic: the Nintendo Switch. Gonna try that link out myself. And that's where we got our chat. Sure and check the chat every now and then. Make sure no one's there. Get out of here, you. Alrighty, everyone ready?
Yep.
Feels like there's a low energy. Yeah, I should have bought another one of those energy drinks. This is Q-Dog said they were way too much sugar. So that was a day's worth of sugar.
They are.
Yeah.
They're a lot of sugar, man.
Dude, I can't drink those.
What was it? Did you say 49 grams? 49 grams of sugar?
I think it was 32, but
32.
Well, between that, the sugar, and all the other stuff, no.
Is that why it tastes kind of syrupy? Like it's just like wet sugar?
Yep.
Perfect. This thing on the way. Lighting. Weird time of day. I get best lighting in the late afternoon.
So the average recommended daily intake of sugar for an average sized man, which I believe you are, Stephen, is 37.5 grams or 19 spoons.
That's
for a woman, it's 25 grams.
Well,
so you in one shot.
They taste decent. So I'll give them that.
Well, I don't think it's very hard to get that much.
No. I had cookies for breakfast. No, I had cereal, but then I had a couple of cookies. And I had a coffee. I don't want it here, though. I don't want it to cause the tummy troubles. Oh, all right. I'm going to close Twitter because it's a awful distraction. Kevin's in the chat. Oh, how meta. Alrighty. Is it May 26th? Okay. All right. We're ready. You ready? I'm ready.
Yep.
Gotta prep. Get ready for my big intro. Greetings, friends. Steven here. And welcome back to the CAPMAX HYPECAST. This is episode 27. Our recording date is May 26th. It's noon. It's a Saturday. We haven't recorded a HYPECAST in several months. I want to say the last one was what? January? Let me open that up real quick, just so I know. Been a long minute. Now we did do the movie cast. That was last week, so this is like a weekly podcast. Who has the time for that? That's just out of control.
Craziness.
26. January the 21st. Damn. Can you believe nothing's happened since then? Well, something happened. Something so unbelievable that I had to bring the show back. I had to dust it off. See, the CAPMAX HYPECAST is a lot like Castlevania. I mean, it does its thing. It gets destroyed, but every now and then it just gets rebuilt, and I got to go through it all over again. So who's going to go through it all over again with me in this episode? Well, I've got Kevin from the Buried on Mars YouTube channel, and I've got Yoshi Knuckles, a.k.a. Ben. We're not quite sure what he's calling himself these days, but hopefully he'll give us more information on that. So, gentlemen, how's it going today?
Good. I feel like I'm in the upside down castle. We're halfway through.
We're not that far in, not at all.
Fairly decent.
Mm-hmm.
Could be better. Could be worse.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm so poor. I'll feel a lot better next weekend, I'm sure. The best thing is I actually called in my vacation pay, so that'll be sweet. I could buy a Switch a lot quicker with that. That's also my Japan fund, though, so I don't know. It's always something to suck money out of that fund. But anyways,
Steven,
we'll get into that.
How long have you been saving that Japan fund now?
Well, the problem with Japan, as I see it, is that there's just an infinite amount of things to want to buy, which means you can really never have enough saved up. I think we talked about this on maybe it was the movie cast. I haven't even listened to the movie cast yet. I'll get around to it. I edited it, but I haven't heard it yet. But yeah, it'd be nice. Go meet Jimmy and of course Richard. Kevin, do you have any plans on getting to Japan? I thought you said at one point you considered it.
Yeah, I still do want to go someday, but not anytime soon. Just with life and everything, and kind of got snake bitten on the last trip I went to. So,
well, hopefully you won't reach that level, but
yeah.
We'll see that.
I'm hoping to go eventually.
Well, with all that schoolings, you'll be making them big money in no time. But we'll get to that. Anyways, let's get to that right now. Let's go through some intros. We'll meet the guests. They can pimp out their social medias and all that, and have some some icebreaker topics for them. So let's start with Kevin. Kevin, tell us a bit more about the Buried on Mars conglomerate.
Buried on Mars conglomerate, sure. Well, I guess, yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. I am kind of planning on doing something with it again. Right now, it's just a dumping ground for some pickup videos because my wife and I, Sarah, we've been picking up a lot of music and that, so we've been making some pickup videos for that. We haven't done one in a while because the last our last record store day, we kind of went hog wild and bought too much stuff, so we got to cool things off for a little bit. So been holding back. I'm also co-host of Retro Fandango / Film Dango with Richard, who, if you listen to the movie cast, HYPECAST, movie HYPECAST, whatever that show was.
No hype, just movies.
Yeah. So I'm the other half of that. And by the way, you guys gave me the gears about not liking these Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and I got my copy of Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Running Man, right here. Well-used copy. Nice. Because I watch it.
That's on Blu-ray, too. I only have it on DVD.
That's right. Yeah, see? Real fan here, so.
I don't think I
By
said
the way, Stephen,
in regards. But
you failed to mention, too, that it's based on a Stephen King novel, so.
Damn.
You failed to mention something in your show, so sad emoji on Twitter for you.
Yeah.
You have your and then I do have. I right now. No,
that's okay.
It's turned off. It's resting right now. It's a Fandango only exclusive. And then I have my blog, buriedonmars.wordpress.com, where I review Blu-rays and music and stuff. So
yeah,
that's it. That's everything.
These things like pure audio or pure text are certainly a lot easier than doing the whole video production thing.
Yeah, although I have been thinking about getting back into doing some video stuff, but just nothing. Not reviews. I think that's the thing that I'm just burnt out on doing video game reviews. You think of doing one, and then there's just so many of them, and there's so many people that have already reviewed said game, so that just kind of don't feel like doing it.
Does that mean your review of Mega Man 2 won't go ahead?
No, who cares? Who cares? What can I add about Mega Man 2?
Because if there's one thing YouTube needs, it's another Mega Man 2 review.
I have noticed that. You pick any game, almost any game, type insert to game name, review, bam, pops up. Unless it's some stupidly obscure thing on some weird console that no one knows about.
Yeah, see, those are the videos
I don't mean to discourage anyone from doing a review like that. Like if you want to, if you have something to say about Mega Man 2, by all means, do a review, do something on it. if you're just getting your feet wet into YouTube and you want to do something like a game that you know really well, go for it. I don't want to but just for me, like I've been there, done that, and there's just I don't know. I don't think there's anything left for me to say in a video game review unless I find a game that not many people have played and I want to do something to promote it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's plenty of other options for gaming YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we're our own bosses as far as this content creation thing goes. So you can do a movie cast, a TV cast, a park cast. I was just like looking at trees and like, park cast. That could be fun. Do a live.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, even if you look on YouTube outside of that, you find like whole channels on cooking. You find channels on like nature. You find channels on phones. You pretty much name it. You go into science stuff. There's guys doing stuff in their garages. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like like all sorts of crap. So.
Yeah, that's still like one of the best things about YouTube is just the option to do whatever you want, basically. Like that's a neat thing. You might catch on, might not, but hey, something to do.
Yeah. So.
Right on. So it's Buried on Mars on the YouTubes. And did we say where what is it on Podbean, is it? Podbean.
Oh yeah, Retro Fandango's on Podbean. But you can just type it into Google. It's the only Fandango that pops up. So just type in Retro Fandango in Google and it'll be right there.
Very good. No underscores needed.
On the Twitter, it's at retro_Fandango. If you feel like following it, but I think that pops up on the Google search as well. So get exclusive views of thumbnails on that Twitter,
and all sorts of different sizes. Size for everyone. I just knocked my toys over. My toys. You're recently at the Barry Game Exchange. I don't know. Have you said everything you wanted to say about that, or do you want to do a quick summary for anyone who has no idea what that is?
Well, sure. Yeah. Barry Game Exchange is something that's thrown on by Nintendo Hodge. He does it twice a year, and it's a game swap, retro game swap. People who are looking to get rid of stuff in their collection. A lot of it is people who go to yard sales and pick up games for cheap, and then they resell them at these places, and you usually get pretty good deals. There are some stores too that sell some things, but it's very retro video game focused. And you can get a lot of good deals there. And yeah, that's another reason why I haven't been spending too much money. I haven't bought a game since I was at the Barry Game Exchange because I had enough. I added on enough to my backlog after that last visit. So yeah. So I think the next one is in August sometime. So it's always a good time.
Yeah, maybe it's an age thing, but I'm certainly okay with retiring as far as like big, heavy video production or even game collecting. It's okay to just be with what you have.
Yeah. Well, even I didn't buy. Normally I buy a lot. I bought a lot more, but this time I went and I was looking for Atari games because I have about 30 Atari games in my collection, and that's all I was looking for the Atari 2600. And I think I brought about $30 with me, and I spent all my money and bought everything. Like I got 30 games. I think I doubled my collection, and I was done within 30 minutes. So the rest of the show is just walking around talking to people. This was really just become a community event more than anything.
Well, there's so many of you guys in Ontario. It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
here on the West Coast, there's not a lot. I don't really even know that many people IRL anymore. I think I said that back in January. Damn, that's sad. Well, we'll figure it out. Cool beans. Well, thanks for being here today.
Well, you should be hanging with Johnny Millennium and Victor Lucas out there.
That's still on the main.
They're not calling you to hang over?
Johnny,
I see.
I think he followed me on Twitter, but then he doesn't reply to tweets to him. I don't know.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is when you're one of these like 100K plus like internet celebrities, I'd love to see their Twitter notifications. Like, could you imagine like Trump's notifications? Or would they ever not be at 99 plus? Like,
no,
just turn them off and not pay attention to any of them because good luck.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave the notifications on, your phone will just sit there and ring constantly.
Yeah, no, you can turn that off. You don't need to make it vibrate or anything. Just have a little pop up on the top of your phone there. That's the way to do it. Anyways, okay. Well, that was Kevin from Beard on Mars, and let's talk a bit about Yoshi Knuckles, aka Ben. So, which name are you going by? What do you? I just put it as Yoshi Ben.
You can go as you can call. Well, you can call me Yoshi. You can call me Ben. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Just felt like why did you make the second Twitter account?
I don't know, because my old Twitter account was just like flooded, and it was just like I'd scroll through it and I'd be like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care.
I mean, that is
I don't
Twitter
care. But it was like everything was I don't care, and I'm like, I barely even know who any of these people are.
Now
so it's just like it got to a point where it was like a bit of a mess, and I just like I don't know. I really don't know. I just
now were those people you were following, or people that the Twitter algorithms decided you needed to see messages about?
It's probably a mixture of both. Because I don't know what happened with that account, but it's just kind of like I don't know. I lost track of a lot of things over the past year or so. That was one of them.
That's cool life, though.
But yeah, that's basically why, is because I've spent the last year off at an actual university, and I'm gonna say that's much different than a community college. Much heavier workload. You go to every class, you're going to expect to walk out with homework, and it's usually more homework than you can reasonably do in a couple of days or a week. Then I go to labs, and you spend 3 hours on the lab, and then you get out and you spend another 5 to 10 hours on it writing a report because detailed reports get good grades. But anyway, because I just finished up my 7th semester, and it feels weird that it's been 7 semesters already, but I got like 3 left, so 5 years total.
What? Has it been that long? Wait,
well, it's going to take 5 years to finish my degree.
Oh, okay.
This is what happens when you pick an engineering degree with no math experience going in.
You like the maths, don't you?
Yeah, only because I'm like naturally good at it, and I don't have to try too hard.
Well, that's convenient. You and Mr. Q-Dog always making math puns on Twitter, and everyone's like,
"Yeah." It's like, don't blame me with the hair. That stuff's not very useful in like everyday life, but it gets more useful when you go to like design computers and stuff, which is basically like computers and electronics and everything else, which is at this point why I've been going to school for 3.5 years now. So I can get out and work as an electronics engineer somewhere, because beats what I was doing before I started school.
I bet.
And I used to mod a bunch of video game consoles and stuff for people, but I haven't been doing that much anymore. I have a couple left that I'm going to mod for some other people, but after that I'm not really interested in doing mail-in work anymore, just because it's too much of a hassle. But I'm pretty much just doing local stuff for people around here now.
Like on the side, kind of.
Like help out the local game store and stuff like that. Because they get piles of broken consoles all the time.
Nice.
And that helps me out because, I help them. They help me.
Right on. Well, that's life. School life for Yoshi Ben. Very good. Well, yeah, it's good to have you back. We haven't had you on the show in ages. But then I rarely record the show in ages, so.
But I've also been like mostly missing for the past 10 months. So
yeah, I feel that way too. But that's just because my job sucks my soul.
That's what happens when you take, what is it, 18 credits a semester?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Well, you're getting there, right? I mean,
it's what I have to do to graduate in 3 semesters. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, very good. Well, thanks for being here. If people want to find you on Twitter, assuming you want them to find you on Twitter, any accounts you wish to pimp out?
I don't know at this point.
That's okay. You don't need to. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, that's Kevin. That's Yoshi. And of course, I'm Steven. Everyone, thanks for listening to this latest episode of the CAPMAX HYPECAST. I guess the second episode of this year? Damn. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, like, you reach a certain age, like, doesn't matter if it's school or not, just time, it flies.
Well, it doesn't help when you end up with injuries.
Say again?
Neglect injuries. Injuries don't help.
I bet not. Too healthy for that for now.
Well, I managed to screw up my neck, upper back, and shoulders. So don't do that, kid.
Is that a story?
How'd you do that?
Yeah.
Carrying probably 40, 50 pounds of textbooks or ever for 12 hours a day for days a week for 4 or 5 months.
The learning broke ya? Literally? Heavy books?
Too many books.
Damn, that's a...
It's like this is what I have to carry to... It's like this is what I have to carry to get my work done. Ow.
It's the weight of the weight of the world on your shoulders. I carry like truck bumpers at work. That shit's heavy too. That's why I'm so buff. Anyways, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm Steven. This is the Yoshi's done now. If you want to find me on Twitter, that's Steven Eider. Steven with a V, EIDHER. Of course, on the YouTube as CAPMAX Gaming. If you're looking to see me play video games live, I might be streaming on Twitch. That's CAPMAX_gaming. Doesn't happen often, but it might happen. Maybe I'll see you there. You can say hi. You can leave an amusing emote in the chat. Okay, so that's it for our intros, which means it must be time for what you've been playing and what you've been watching. That part of the show, and it's just a good time to just talk about the shows, the games, the movies, whatnot. Now, of course, I have divided my attentions with this movie cast, so I'm kind of like, do I want to talk about movies on this show, or do I want to talk about them on the other show? So I've got an anime. I've got a couple of movies I did want to mention just because I had big thoughts about them, so I think it'll go all right. Before we continue, by the way, I just want to point out that I have not yet purchased a replacement power supply for my computer. So if I just drop the call, it's because my computer just reset. So, fingers crossed, knock on wood and all that. I hope it doesn't happen. It didn't happen during the movie cast, but if it does, you'll know what's going on. And if the thing keeps going, just, keep going. I'll edit what I need to later. But that's just a warning. I forgot to mention that earlier. Power supply. I opened my my desktop tower open, and I was like, power supply. But then there's all these cords going every which way. I'm like,
Yeah, the power supply connects to all the devices because it supplies the power to all the devices.
Yeah, that's kind of an important thing.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think even if I just recorded myself taking the thingies out of the thingies, maybe that'd help if I misplace what's. There's like a cord that goes in there. There's that, and computers. So hopefully everything goes okay. But yeah, what you been playing? What you been watching, Kevin?
Well, I got 3 games on the go. I just finished God of War, like the original God of War from 2005, because the new one came out, and I thought about getting it, but then I realized I have 6 or 7 God of War games in my backlog that I haven't got to yet. So I figured it's time to get to some of those. I played 1 and 2 on the PS2 a long time ago, but I had this God of War collection on the PS3 forever, so I played through the first one, and then I started playing through the second one. They're really fun games. I like them. They're good hack and slash games. They're a little on the easy side. They're not like a Ninja Gaiden difficulty or even Bayonetta or anything like that, but they're enjoyable games. The story is a little out there. Kratos is a little bit of an annoying character, but they're fun. It's kind of weird how like the first game they wrapped it like that story wrapped up. It was done. There was nothing else left to say with Kratos, and then the second game they just I don't know. It's weird. Like Kratos keeps wanting to commit suicide and kill himself.
Mm.
So, but every time one of these gods kill him, he gets angry and wants to come back and get revenge. It's like, well, do you want to die or not want to die? Can you pick one? Or I don't know. He seems to be a little bit all over the place. But the gameplay is keeping me invested. The other day, GOG.com had Unreal Gold. They had that for free, and I thought, hey, that's neat. I think I have that game already in my Steam account. So I went to Steam, and sure enough, it was there. And so I started playing that again. I played it a long time ago. I had the original box and everything way back, and yeah, there was a lot more that I forgot about that game than I remembered. That's a real fun first-person shooter, Twitch style first-person shooting, corridors. Always be strafing. I actually streamed an hour of it on my Twitch channel, the Buried on Mars Twitch channel, and yeah, it was fun. But I think I'm going to finish it. I think I'm going to continue playing it because I was really enjoying myself.
Does it have the DLC campaign in the gold version? I
think so. I think it contains everything.
Right
on. There was one point where the game everything went all black, and I thought the game crashed.
Oh, at the start.
And yeah, and and I'm like, what's going on? Oh, and then everything's dark, and all of a sudden this monster just comes out and starts swiping at you. So that was pretty good. And very intelligent AI for the time. I think 1998 that game came out, and they're like flanking you and coming around, and if you start shooting at them, they'll come up to you and they'll start swiping at you. So it's pretty good, and then they'll run away. If you get a few hits on them. So good game.
Did you see that Lazy Game Reviews video on it?
I watched half of it. Yeah, and I think he came out with that review before the GOG put the game out for free.
That was a response to his video. Like he probably just generated. I feel like it was. He probably generated a lot of Unreal original hype with that video.
Yeah.
He's definitely been catching on lately. And then they just thought,
that's cool.
Let's drop it for free.
Well, he's had an ongoing relationship with GOG for a while. He has like his own curator page or whatever. Like you can buy. If you buy stuff on his page through GOG, he gets like a little kickback, kind of like the Amazon links deal. So
that's cool.
Then I've been playing Mario on the Switch. I just pick that up once in a while, and just try to get some more moons. I'll get like 2 or 3 moons, and then I'll put the Switch down for another week or so. And
I remember when moons were just like 3-ups. Now they're like this god tier item. Although I guess I remember when stars were invincibility instead of god tier items too.
Yeah, they're like the stars in the Mario 64. They're moons now for whatever reason.
Collect the MacGuffins.
Yeah. But it's fun. Like it's fun. Like it's a collectathon, but they hide these things in puzzles, right? And it's fun to try to figure out how to get them. Sometimes you'll see like one up in the air. It's like, how do I get that up there? And then you figure it out. There's one that like a dog. I'm in the city, the New Donk City right now, and a dog has one, and I have no idea how to get it out of the dog. I'm throwing my hat at it. I'm jumping on it. I don't know how to get the moon out of this dog.
I still haven't even bought that game yet, so
it's fun. It's the only game I'm playing on the Switch, so it's one of
the only new games on the Switch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey,
but
if you walk into a game store, that's what you see.
Yeah, but I do like it. I like it a lot. I like that kind of Mario better than the straight up platforming. Just get from this point A to point B. And that is in this game. There are a lot of levels that are like that. But once you finish the main story, you can just go and explore and just find these moons. So have fun with that.
I actually prefer the linear style of Mario games. So
each their own.
Yeah, but they basically provided both with the last couple gens. Yeah, the new
pretty
Super
much.
Mario series since the DS. But at the same time, you had like Mario 3D World or 3D Land, and
we haven't seen one of those on Switch yet. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that would be a new game though. It's still hard to want to not bust chops, but I mean, I'll be eating my words soon enough. So we'll get to that with our main topic of the Nintendo Switch vote, all in due time. And yeah, you mentioned God of War, so that was the second one you were playing?
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah, I tried playing that back in the day, but I got to some open room. It might have been like a hub area, and whatever needed to unlock didn't unlock, and I was just stuck. So I just stopped playing because fuck that. That sucked. I guess that didn't happen for you. No.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah, just a random glitch in a fancy God of War. What do you think of this new game? Like, people are like, "Oh my god, it's the greatest game ever!" And I'm just looking at him like, he's got the beard now. He's a single dad. He throws an axe. There's monsters jumping around. I'm like, where's the greatest game aspect? I don't understand. Is there just like one or two key scenes I haven't seen? I saw the start when you fight the guy, and the guy is really strong, and you're really strong, and it's just like Superman fighting. I forget who he fought. General Zod. That's kind of the vibe I got. So it's like all these gods suddenly fighting now, so you're fighting different gods. But I feel like I need to be spoiled to a certain extent to want to care about the new God of War. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
Like where I don't understand where this excitement is coming from. And now we've got the Detroit Become Human or whatever, and people are streaming that. I'm like, man, God of War just came out. People have to be done that already because now this Detroit game is out. I don't know how people can keep up with this stuff.
I don't even have a PS4, so
there you go.
My enthusiasm for a lot of that stuff is just nil.
Yeah.
I don't have PS4 or Xbox One. I have a PC that could probably run most of the games, but it sits there as like a CAD machine.
Yeah. It's all about those exclusives. Well, it's like that with me and the Switch. It's just like it's an option if you want to spend the money on a new console. There it is. But if none of the games are appealing to you, then why bother? Just focus on the consoles you do have and the games you do have and the things you do want to play.
That's pretty much like what was it? I think the Happy Console Gamer said on a recent episode, like, we're fans of game. We're not fans of gaming as a whole. Not all of us are. We're pretty much fans of this small niche of certain types of games for the most part. That's how most of us are. You're fans of a small niche of a giant, industry. Because there's games out there that are games that are just like, I don't want to play this. This looks like complete garbage. And then like I go show it to my mom, and she's like, I want to play that.
Your mom plays video games? I'm blown away when people say that sort of thing.
She plays Facebook games, so that kind of counts.
What kind of games?
She'll sit there and play like bingo and crap like that.
Well, that's like real like.
It's still technically a video game. You're still sitting in front of a screen using like a computer to control stuff on a screen.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like the
Facebook
Skylander.
Bingo is a video game.
Yeah.
It's not a very complex video game.
Yeah.
But it's a video game.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, I had a job working at a bingo parlor once. That was questionable. They had a smoking section, and they were like one of the last places on earth to still have a smoking section. That's not a great job. That's why Yoshi Ben's in school right now, so he doesn't have to work crappy jobs like that. All right, very good. I'm sorry I interrupted Kevin. So he was talking about some Marios and some moons, and then I think he's going to go on about an animated series next.
Yeah, get ready for. I'm watching cartoons.
Oh,
I'm watching the Corner Gas animated series. I just
like
watched
one of the most Canadian shows.
Yeah, I just watched the first episode today. It's been piling up on the PVR. And all my shows are on hiatus this weekend because of the long weekend in the States. So I just gave that a shot, and yeah, it's pretty good. Like that show is pretty low budge. Set in rural Saskatoon, and there wasn't too much that they could do. So in this cartoon, they're able to daydream a little more on the show and do more some more outrageous things. Like, like when they would do those cutaway jokes or whatever, and it would
I've
have
never
to be
seen
like
the show.
someone in town. Oh well,
I've never understood the show.
that's pretty good.
It's literally just like a gas station on like a long stretch of highway or something.
Yeah, well, it's the only gas station in this small town, and everybody kind of it's connected to a diner, and everyone just kind of hangs out in this diner slash gas station. And the guy who runs it, his mom and dad, they ran the gas station. They're retired, so the son took it over, and the dad's always coming over telling him how to run the gas station, and I don't know. It's good. Mm-hmm. It's a cute show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Shakespeare or anything, but it's all right.
Hey. It's weird though.
So the cartoon, it was I don't know if it was canceled, but they just decided not to do it anymore because everyone was kind of getting a little too old. So this animated series is kind of a good way to bring it back.
Very good. We got someone in the chat. Orc 145-626. Yes, if we game on PC at all. Yeah, sometimes. But I was saying before, my computer is a bit under the weather right now, so I'm trying to not use the PC too much for gaming.
Sometimes, Steven, you have like 3 years worth of hours in what's that? Team Fortress 2.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours you got logged in there?
That's all in the past. I can.
In the past, it's like it's a ridiculous amount. I think I added it up once, and it was like 3 full years worth in Team Fortress 2.
Hey man, it can't be as bad as my Final Fantasy 11 playtime.
Okay.
How many hours? How many hours?
It's in the days.
The days?
That's it. It's like almost 2 years worth.
Okay, my
is that on the what was Final Fantasy 11? That's
the online game,
or
that's the online Final Fantasy game, the first one. It was on like
what system was
PS2,
that on?
Xbox 360. It was on a bunch of different things.
What did you play it on?
PC.
Really?
PC version was better. Wow. You could download this thing called Windor that would let you, see some things you're not supposed to that make the game much easier to do.
Oh.
And most of the people playing on PC used it anyway. And it also lets you, have the game in a frickin' window so you could tab out and go look up stuff on your computer.
That'd be useful.
Because this was back in the days before you had, your smartphone.
Yeah. So my Team Fortress hours, according to Steam, are 2906 right now.
2906.
Almost
2906
hours. Almost.
Oh.
You'd think I'd be better at it.
Let's just divide that by 24.
Oh, he's doing the math.
121 days.
There you go.
Not quite 3 years, but 1/3 of a
game
year
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my job is. I work with cars at a body shop, but I don't make the big money, so I just spend most of my money on toys anyways. Yeah, okay. So, animated series. They did a little weird animated series for shows. I remember the Mr. Bean had a cartoon for a while.
Yeah, that wasn't a good idea.
It wasn't good. Yeah, you got to see the live action though.
Yeah, it was all about his facial expressions and everything. So, and make it in a cartoon. Yeah,
the locales are really interesting. Remember that time we went to it was like an army fort base to learn a course or something like that. Was just a weird, interesting location. Or when we went down to that beach with like the breakwater, felt like I was like on a vacation to the UK. What about the Trailer Park Boys? Do they have a cartoon? I know they have app games now, where they're drawn as cartoons. I know they have their shows on Netflix now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's an IP. Might as well just get some more use out of it. When's the Red Green cartoon come out? That's what I want to know.
I think he's retired.
But he's been still on the ice? That's what I want to know.
I'm sure it is.
Possible episode title. Maybe not. It's too long. All right, very good. Hey, Yoshi Ben, what you been playing? What you been watching?
Alright, well, I guess I'll start off with the last game I beat, which was Xenosaga Episode 2.
Okay.
I think I beat that a couple weeks ago, but my general gist for that game is it has an awesome story. You need to play the first game to understand what's going on, of course, because it is like a series where you should play them in order.
Yeah.
Because it is all one. It's basically a game that was split into 3 different games. One story is split into 3 different games, which was supposed to be originally a lot more. But I do like the Xenosaga series. Episode 1's really good. Episode 2, I would recommend skipping it and watching the movie for it on YouTube, because that's about 30 to 40 hours of very mediocre RPG.
That's the one on the Switch, part 2?
No, that's the one on the
PS2.
PS2.
Yeah. Oh, all Xenogears.
Saga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's Xenogears, Xenosaga, Xenoblade. Yeah, it gets confusing.
Right. Yeah.
These RPGs get very confusing.
Are they all in the same timeline, though?
No. Xenogears doesn't have anything to do with Xenosaga, and Xenosaga has nothing to do with Xenoblade.
Weird. I guess
at least from what I can tell.
Final Fantasy. You know, they're kind of trying to keep that IP going, but each world is its own world.
I think that also had. I don't know what they did there. It's kind of weird. Because I know the Xenogears universe is owned by Square, not Monolith Soft. I'm pretty sure Monolith Soft owns Xenosaga, but I'm also sure Namco owns some. But I don't know how that works. So, like, I'm pretty sure that's why we haven't seen a remastered Xenosaga, is because of something like that. But anyway, I would recommend, like, the 3rd game is supposed to be good. I haven't played it yet. I'll play it sometime this summer, hopefully. But yeah. But moving on, I'm currently playing Knights of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon, which is a game that you can get on, PC, PS4, or Switch. It's actually a Switch game that's fairly cheap. It was, I think I paid $30 US for it off Amazon. I don't know what it is up in Canada. You'd have to look. But I know EB still wants like 50 something for it, or EB or GameStop or whatever the heck it is. So, as far as that game, it's pretty much the main character is a half demon vampire that has to go on hunts. The story is very convoluted, and I don't even know how to explain it, but like, all the characters are girls. It's got that very anime aesthetic, so it's pretty very much an anime game, like 3D anime. And yeah, all the characters are girls. And also, I can't tell if this game wants to be a hack and slash or an action RPG, because it's something in between. It's just kind of like weird.
Yeah, a lot of games are doing that nowadays.
What, like the halfway between action RPG and hack and slash?
Yeah.
Like it's like hack and slash gameplay, but very, 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 very heavy action RPG elements.
I don't know what's going on in those games anymore.
I mean, it's been an enjoyable game. How long to beat? It says it takes 15 hours. I've played it for about 20. You could probably beat it in about 15 hours if you just played through the main storyline and ignored all the side quests. It's pretty much you play as the main character, this red-haired girl, and she's like, I don't know. You have to save this town from the what is it? I can't even remember what the character's called.
Riveting.
I know. It's it's a game. It's one of those, the Koei Tecmo Gus game. So if you played one of those before, you should know what to expect.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for an action RPG hack and slash on the Switch, it's kind of worth the $30. I don't know. My only real complaint about the game is, like, I have been enjoying it. My complaint is that you kind of just revisit the same areas over and over again. So that gets old. It's like the quests are all go back to these areas and do such and such a task. or go with this character and use this ability 5 times, or go kill these 15, 20, whatever of these monsters. Okay.
So it's a little bit like Monster Hunter. You know, you can be an anime girl in Monster Hunter.
What was the name of the game again?
Knights of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon. I'm also very bad at like describing games. It's there's like very risque stuff in that game as far as the characters are concerned or whatever. But anyway,
I've been tempted to try it on PS4, but
well, the Switch version was like 30 and the PS4 version looked to be about like 25 or something when I bought it, so
pretty good.
It's not that expensive relatively for, new games at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these gals have no clothes on.
That's pretty much, that's what I meant.
Nice.
Wow. Jeez. I'm going to get in trouble if I leave that open.
Oh.
Hopefully Sarah's not around. Jeez.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those games, which I just looked at the cover and went, this looks cool. Oh, it looks like an action RPG hack and slash. And then you find out it's very heavy, like girl-on-girl story. And I'm like, what the hell? Childhood friends.
Yeah.
So that's why you need it. That's why you need it on the Switch, so you can take it into bed with you. Have some alone time with it.
Yeah, that HT Rumble.
Go into the pool and start looking at them in their swimsuits, because that's totally there. There's a pool.
Sounds like a
changing
plan.
room.
There you go.
Japan, man.
Yeah. Cool beans.
It's like
They got you covered.
But let's see. Before I started playing that, I was playing Phantasy Star 4, and I'm planning on getting back to that very shortly. I just need to finish Knights of Azure 2 first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm very much like, I like playing one game at a time and finishing it and then moving on.
Well, especially with RPGs. You don't want
because I find if I don't, I lose track of what the heck I'm doing in the game.
Yeah.
I lose interest in whatever the heck the game is, and I never end up finishing it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens every time I start a new game while I'm playing a game. And I'm hoping it doesn't happen with Phantasy Star 4 when I get back to that. But Phantasy Star 4. Now that is a very good Genesis game.
Have you played the other Phantasy Star games?
Yes. I've played 1 through 3.
So do you need to play the other 3 before you can jump into 4?
Short answer, not really. But you might not understand all the story elements. Like things will just pop. Like you'd still be able to play the game and understand what's going on in the game, but you wouldn't understand all the throwbacks and references to stuff that happened in the past. It's like, it's kind of like most of the Phantasy Star games, you can play them as standalone games, but as it is like telling an overall arc over like a couple thousand years or whatever of this like, planetary system or solar system or whatever you want to call it, star system. I don't know.
Is it a bit Star Trek-ish?
It is like space fantasy type stuff. It's like a mixture between like medieval fantasy and space like travel-y type sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
So it is like I do really enjoy the game. I really, really like the Phantasy Star series. That said, as far as ranking the games, Phantasy Star 4 is easily the best one. After that, I would probably say the original Phantasy Star and the Master System, as far as like how they hold up today, because neither of those games really require a absolute ton of grinding, like an unreasonable amount for the platform. The original Phantasy Star, yes, you have to grind, but it's not like Phantasy Star 2 where you better like, sit down, buckle up, and sit there for 10 hours walking back and forth before you can advance a town and then do it again. Phantasy Star 2 is brutal. Also, there's no backgrounds in 2, but I don't know. Talk about Phantasy Star for a while, so it's a good series. I recommend playing it if you haven't tried it, and if you're tired of like the Final Fantasies and Dragon Quest, because those are the more popular series. or Kale series or any of the other stuff that's out now.
Mm-hmm.
But, as far as watching things, still watch wrestling, but I don't think either of you guys care much about that. I only watch that occasionally anyway. It's kind of hard to keep up with it. There's too much content.
Yeah.
There's too much media coming out these days. You just pick and choose and go with whatever.
Like every week there's some pay-per-view Wrestle Slam event happening, and everyone's using
that's
hashtags.
what it felt like. Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot.
I don't know. I've mostly just been watching Ranma Half, which is an animated series. It is anime. I believe that came out in the 80s. I'm not sure when they dubbed it. I've actually been watching the dubbed version because, that's one of those dubs that was done very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like annoying or cheesy or any really stupid. Because I know a lot of dubbed anime gets really stupid because they make some really questionable choices in translation sometimes. But that also depends on who you talk to. But as far as Ranma Half goes, it centers around a boy and his father who decided to travel to a cursed spring in China called Jusunkyo. And let's say they fell into the spring, and now I think he starts out as like a 15-year-old boy or something. I don't remember. Anyway, the teenage boy ends up turning into a girl. Like he touches cold water, he turns into a girl. His dad turns into a panda. And you meet various other characters along the way that also turn into things. All when you touch cold water. Lots of people fall into these cursed spring. Very sad, very tragic.
Mm-hmm. They really got to close that place off. It sounds like a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but it ends up being a very, very interesting show just because there's like all sorts of different characters and they're all coming at him and he's always getting the fights with characters. He has a rival that gets lost all the time. It takes him 3 days to go to the lot behind his house because he ran off and got lost. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Zany retro anime.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like a really zany anime from the 80s that, I don't know. I don't think it got popular over here. I don't know how popular it is now.
No, that's pretty popular.
I think it's more popular than I think.
Yeah.
So.
Catchy intro song.
It's got a couple catchy intro songs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of amusing sometimes, the crap they get into.
Yeah. And
as you go on, there's more and more characters that show up. And each one's more outlandish than the last for a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Got the Super Nintendo game.
What? Oh, you've played the Super Nintendo game?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
We actually got one like domestically too.
Yeah, I have that one.
Mm.
It's kind of bad, but at the same time, it's fun with a friend.
Mm-hmm. It's fun if you know the characters.
If you know the character, if you and your friend know the characters, it can be fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you give zero shits about that show, avoid it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's every show. You don't know until you watch it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, good stuff.
It's interesting.
Excellent.
Let's give it a watch if you want.
Mm-hmm. It's retro.
There's also like 100 or 200 episodes or something. So.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, thanks for that. It's my turn. Well, which I've been playing, which I've been watching. So I'm going to start with The Last of Us for PS4. I used to give this game a rough time back in the day because it was one of those games, not unlike New God of War, where people just wouldn't shut up about it. Oh, it's the best game of all time. Blah, blah, blah. And then you play like, well, it's pretty good, but I mean, there's issues. It's not necessarily the best. And then I made a funny video back in the day.
Didn't you once say that Cabela's Big Game Hunting had more atmosphere than Last of Us? That was you, right?
I hope it was. Those games are awesome. Firewatch. That's what I was missing on this list. I was playing Firewatch. We're kind of jumping ahead, and I was looking at just the scenery. It's a walking simulator for the most part, and I'm thinking, you know what? Those Cabela games had really good scenery. You just can't go wrong with the Cabela games. But yeah, like I made I made a video when I was playing The Last of Us, and one of those clickers, like the mushroom zombies, was just stuck. And it was running around in a circle, and I made an amusing little YouTube video of that. And it was just one of those games, like I said, where it's just you get so overwhelmed by the hype, you start to get the anti-hype generating, and you're just sick of it. The dang guy hype, as we called it in the last HYPECAST. But more recently, I was listening to the Cartridge Club podcast, and they were actually discussing The Last of Us. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I could play that again. For ages now on my PS4, I've had The Last of Us DLC going, and I didn't play it. So I played that first, and I'm like, yeah, this game's pretty cool. I dig the whole, post-apocalypse. Let's scavenge for stuff and avoid zombies. And, that kind of scene is always a good time. For us, maybe not for them. So I played that DLC, finished that, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind going through the original game again. Why not? I've got this podcast hype in the back of my head. And I borrowed the disc, the Last of Us disc, from our local library. Played that, so enjoyed that. Had to return it, though. And then someone else put the game on hold, those assholes. So I was like, oh, I got to stop. Like, no. I am an adult. I have money. I'm going to buy the game myself. But then I couldn't find it anywhere. Last of Us PS4 disc, nowhere to be found. Eventually, I'm just like, where would I go to find like a launch title PS4 game whenever it came out? Where is the place that's going to have the crappiest selection that would probably have that? And like, you know what? Best Buy. They always have that one kiosk of really old games for $20. And wouldn't you know it, there it was.
It was there.
Purchase that.
I see it at Shoppers Drug Mart all the time for $20. They've had it there forever. So that's an option. Always check out Shoppers because they get weird stock.
Yes, they do.
They for years they've had Wii U games, like full price Wii U games, but they don't have a Wii U. Like you can't buy a Wii U. You can buy the game. So,
well, not anymore, but yeah. They've got our local little Shoppers Drug Mart where I go to pick up my my Transformer deliveries. They've got a bunch of movies on sale. I mentioned it on the movie cast, but I just have it here on hand. The Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, 4 discs, TV series, $10. Got that from Shoppers Drug Mart of all places. I don't think I've seen it for sale anywhere else. But yeah, Last of Us, good game. Finished that, good times. Kind of wanted to play it on harder difficulty. But I didn't, whatever. Just get her done. Took some screenshots, posted those to the Twitter account via PS4 share. Yeah, saw the drafts again, The ending always bugs me because there's like this big decision Joel has to make as far as the fate of Ellie. And I always thought it'd be neat if they did like a kind of choose your own adventure at that point. Because the game it's a very set story. You're just there for the ride. It could easily be a movie. But in this world we live in with like Telltale games and even Mass Effect, all these games where your choices make a decision. For a game like this, where choices are a big part of it, they really don't let you make any choices. You're just Joel the Kill Man going through beat up old Boston towns, or whatever, and like choking other people. And I also don't like how they imply that if you have a kid with you, you're like a good person. Otherwise, you're like a cannibal. Like, come on. Come on. I don't like that. That's uncalled for. People don't need to have a kid with them to be trusted. Anyways. Okay, next up. You'll like this, Kevin. I was actually playing Metroid Zero Mission on my GBA for the very first time.
Oh, nice.
Not too long ago, I was on eBay looking at this and that, and there are these multi-game carts. The first one I saw is like this red NES game cart that has like 50 games in one, and you can just play it. No mods needed on your original NES. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. Only problem there is I never use my retro station over here. It's all dusty, and I got the big ass TV. But I'm thinking that is a good spot for a shelf full of Transformers. And like, I got a Saturn. I mentioned this also on the movie cast thing, but I've got like a GameCube. It's already in a box now.
Man.
Space is at a premium in an apartment this small, so I'm just thinking maybe one of these days I'll just knock it all down. But as far as these multi-carts are going, I was like, well, I don't really want to spend money on the NES one or on the SNES one because unfortunately they don't work on the Retron 5, which I do have hooked up to my current TV here. But I found that there are GBA multi-carts as well. I actually have 3 of them now. One of them is full of NES ROMs, and it works pretty well. I've been meaning to do just a little YouTube video showing them off. That might happen one of these days. The next one I picked up it had some GBA games and some NES ROMs, and the third one I picked up was just GBA ROMs, and it's got a pretty good collection. It's got both Metroids. It's got, I want to say it was like 32 games on one cart, and of course this is a proper GBA, so you're pulling carts in and out. Normally it'd be a 1 game per cart, but this is 32 games in one cart. And the best thing is it does save, and you can switch games. Like sometimes if you switch the game, it'll erase the save. But this, like, I've played 3 or 4 different games and they all save. So I've jumped back and forth between Metroid and Aladdin. The SNES Aladdin is on there, but it's the GBA port, and for some reason that has a save feature. It's not really a game that needed to be, but it does, which is neat. And I played that a bit, then I went back and Metroid was still there. And yeah, I mean, it's alright. I hear, Kevin, there's some big change to the game at some point. Is that accurate? Because it's like a remake of the original NES Metroid, but I hear there's like some big twist at some point. Is that
Zero?
Oh
Mission?
yeah. A sweet twist towards the end. If you're a Ridley fan, hang in there and get to the end of that game.
Yes.
Yeah, that game is actually one of those that I do really enjoy that game. So I did finish that back in the day. I actually finished it recently again. So I do really like that game. I like it a hell of a lot more than the NES original.
Yeah.
A lot more play.
I agree. Yeah. I like the NES original, but yeah, that's one time when a remake is done right. You know?
You get the map, and then at first I thought it was kind of lame that there's this little sparkle that shows you where to go next. But you get those long shafts in the game, Kevin.
Yes, I do. I know all about the long shafts.
And there's like doors all the way up and down, and you don't know quite which way to go. It's easy to get lost in that sort of area. Because normally you get like maybe 1 or 2 paths, but then you get to those long shafts, and I'll tell you what, your options really pick up into which door you want to go into. And then it's like, oh, the sparkle wants me to go that way. So okay, and on one side it's just like, well, that's kind of lame. It's for babies who don't want to figure out how to play the game. But on the other hand, it's like, yeah, I do appreciate that it tells me generally which direction to go.
Well, they basically used the Metroid Fusion engine for that game when they remade it.
Yeah, I can see
because you have Metroid Fusion engine sitting there. You might as well just use the same thing and make it, Which is, I'm essentially sure what they did, because both games seem a lot very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you like what you're playing with Zero Mission, you can probably play Fusion later.
Which is also on that multi-card. Oh, yeah. That's a really good deal. I love those things. I should do that video. But there are other people have done the videos, but I'll give it the Steven touch. But yeah, neat game so far. It's standard Metroid, classic style Metroid. No weird Adam and the baby talk from the Wii game or any of that. So no first person. Of course, it's all side scrolling. And there's that one part where you have to like jump over acid, and there's just like one square of blocks you have to grab onto. That was tricky.
Yeah,
I thought I had to go back to that after having some upgrade to the suit. Like,
if you ever try to 100% that game, it gets incredibly difficult in places.
The jumping, like, she does that ledge grab, but sometimes it doesn't always grab, and then you're like, and then you got to run back slowly. You're like, ding, 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 as your health goes down. Like, oh.
Part of the issue with the Metroid games is to get the best ending, not only do you have to beat the game incredibly quick, but you also have to collect almost everything.
Yeah, speedrunners. Blech. That's the opposite reason why people play Metroidvania style games, is to not speedrun, but to explore and find all the little nooks and crannies.
Well, but that's also like the old school Metroid games. Like, that's how it worked, but you could beat those games in a handful of hours if you wanted to, but you'd have to play through it multiple times to get there.
Well, yeah, Samus would take off pieces of armor depending on how fast you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
And eventually you get Samus in a swimsuit. If you can, like, beat it in under so many hours or whatever.
Yeah. But of course, if we're going back to, like, the NES era, like, people would have, like, one game, maybe 2 games a year. So anything they could do to extend playability, they definitely did.
Especially when the games were as simple as a lot of NES games are.
So they jack up the difficulty, as some would say. I was listening to some podcasts and they were talking about. Actually, I think it was what's that one that P2 loves? Polykill podcast. They were talking about not having. I think it was that one. They were talking about having no experience with classic Metroid or classic Mega Man games. They said that they were really difficult. I thought it was kind of interesting because for most people who did grow up with these games, they would probably not find them difficult at all. Like I think most of us could go through Mega Man 2 or 3 pretty darn quick. We all know the ropes by now, but for anyone who doesn't and starts these classic games for the first time, it'd be interesting to see them play and learn the levels and what they would find tricky.
I used to do a YouTube series like that.
You're on YouTube? What?
Yeah.
I watched a couple of my friends try and play some of the Mega Man games. They didn't do so well. So, yeah, it's hard for most people.
I'm fairly new to the Mega Man series. I never played it when I was a kid. And just like within the last 5 years or so, I've collected all the games. And Mega Man 2 is very approachable. It's not overly difficult, I don't think. I think that's probably why it's the favorite of most, because it's a mainstream platformer. It's not that difficult.
It definitely dropped.
One is a little janky. Yeah, one is a little janky. But if you know a couple of tricks in that, you can get through that game. So like the pause trick on some of the bosses. And then 3 gets a little difficult. I find 3 you have to do too many of the levels over again. I hate that. I really can't stand that. But I mean, they're beatable. It's not like as if you can't. I don't know. I don't find them that tough where you can't. If you put some time into it and learn the game, that it's impossible to beat or anything.
A lot of the difficulty comes from figuring out what weapon to use when. Once you figure out what weapons to use when, the games become a cakewalk. That goes for almost every Mega Man game.
Yeah.
Not just boss order, but what weapons to use in stages versus what in enemies. Because that can make a huge difference in some of the games.
Yeah.
I was playing Mega Man 9, the one that they did for, I guess, the PS3 360 era.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that was hard. Now, I'm wondering, is it that very same thing where it's just like, it's actually not that difficult, but I just haven't played it enough to realize that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think that was the complaint that a lot of people had was Mega Man 9 was easy. Like a lot of the, fans of the series were saying it wasn't as difficult as it should have been.
Really?
You couldn't even slide in that one.
Damn hard in certain places. There's certain stages that were just absolutely brutal.
Those checkpoints weren't very generous. Like that part with the bubbles, and you're just waiting there, and then the thing eventually gets there, and then you ride the bubble up, and then there's spikes, and then you make the jump down to the next.
The thing that took me forever was the one room where you're on a platform, and you got to swing it back and forth, and you got to jump. You got to swing it back and forth so you can jump down. There's a couple of spots in one level that are just all lined with spikes. So if you screw up, you're dead.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's Mega Man. It's like imagine someone who's never played Mega Man 2 and they start with Quick Man stage. Like, ding, ding, what the hell's happening? What do I do? Anyways, retro game. I should get up to date with 9 and 10 though. I really didn't play them. I even have the Legacy Collection 1 and 2. I've got 1 digitally, and then I have Collection 2 physically. I think I actually got this for $20 from Amazon, and this is the one that has 9 and 10, so I can play it on the PS4 instead of the PS3. I hate that. I hate how the last gen just collects so much dust. I have all those PS3 games. A lot of them are really good, and I did want to get around to them. I probably will never get around to them. Remember Fear 2 and 3? That I was looking forward to playing. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Those are good games.
I know.
3 is a little out there, but they're fun.
Dead Space 2 and 3. I've been dying to play those. Even Lords of Shadow 2. I like. No, I didn't really like Lords of Shadow 1, but I wanted to play Lords of Shadow 2.
I like to play Lords of Shadow 1.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to play Lords of Shadow 1 and half tempted to buy 2 because I keep seeing it for dirt cheap at GameStops. because it's one of those games you can find for like $12. It still has a case.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, do I really need this? Do I really want it? Am I ever going to play it?
Mm-hmm.
Which just like what seems to happen every time I go buy games now is like, do I really need more games?
No.
Do I really need them?
That's why the day one hype is so great nowadays. Once again, back to the new God of War, and that's when all that hype comes in handy. If you just want to play a game, and then you've got. Actually, I was thinking about this. The Cartridge Club podcast, they do this thing where they talk about a game, and they kind of have hype in the opposite order. Because I feel like they should do the podcast first, and then once people have heard that, then they get excited for the game, and then they'll want to play it. But it's kind of going in the opposite direction, where it's like the hype starts off minimal, and even like P1, P2, the host of this Cartridge Club podcast, at least the former host, they themselves barely had any hype by the end. And like P2 was like, well, I played the first stage in Kingdom Hearts, so that was something. And they're just like, oh, come on. But with their last host episode, it was only after listening to the podcast that I myself wanted to replay the game. Because by that point, once people were really discussing it, that's when, at least for me, I know they have their forums as well. And if you are into forums, then that is another avenue to generate said hype for said game. But for those of us who don't necessarily use forums, the podcast does come in handy for raising awareness and interest in said game.
There's also a Discord channel for.
I don't even. Kevin, what's a Discord?
It's garbage. It's garbage. Stay away from Discord. Nothing but nasty over there.
Discord.
Stay away from that.
It's good if you're with
Nasty.
the boys monster hunting. Discord.
No, I find everyone on Discord disagrees with me. That's the diss in Discord. They disagree with me, so I stay away from that thing.
For anyone who has no idea, on Kevin's podcast, they have a call it a running gag where they hate on Discord.
Yeah.
Because they have no idea what it is.
So
that's how I feel about
gag
WordPress.
now.
What the hell is WordPress? What is Tumblr?
Oh, that's good times.
What is?
I don't know.
What Instagram. Why do people leave Instagram links in Twitter when we can't see the image? I'm not going to click on your link. I'm on Twitter because I don't want to be on Instagram.
They just want to annoy you.
People are dumb. Stop being dumb, people.
I don't know.
This is the
Just be on
podcast.
every single. Just got to be on every single social media platform so you can please everybody.
Yeah, I couldn't hear a word of that. Kevin, are you hearing Yoshi as a robot half the time?
Yeah, he's very robot. I wasn't sure if you were hearing it or not, so I wasn't saying anything. But I get one like every third word.
Yeah, we can piece it together for the most part.
Great.
All right,
It's not working very well.
Yeah, it might just be if you're moving too close or too far away from the mic. But anyways, I won't edit that as we got to keep rolling. Shadow of the Colossus PS4 remake. This is one of my segments where I pause and sigh and just like when AC Decepticon needs to decide if he needs to buy a new Transformer. He just it's the pause and the long sigh, and then the excuses start up. I don't know what went wrong.
So has
Everything
it
I
changed?
hated about The Last Guardian is in Shadow of the Colossus PS4 remake, and I don't know if it's me or if it's just changes were made, or if maybe it was always that way and I just didn't realize it back then. But it's the camera. Like, why it does that Resident Evil 4 camera where it's at the side of your character looking to the side, but I'm riding a horse and I'm trying to look where I'm going, and the camera's looking over here, and I'm trying to move the camera to the direction I'm looking, and the camera's like, It's like, no, I'm looking, no, but no, just why it got to be this way? Game looks great. I mean, they did update the scenery. If it were Walkinson, it'd be beautiful. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have played it before and I do know what to expect. I started the game in hard mode, so there's more stabby points on the Colossi for your man to stab his sword into, and I don't know. I got there's the Colossus. It's like a gecko walking on the inside of like a tube Coliseum tower thing, and every time like it combo kills me because like it's climbing up a thing, you shoot its shiny feet or whatever, and then it falls off the wall, and then you jump down and then you stab it as you do in Shadow of the Colossus. But then it gets up and it knocks your character, and then you get into the tumbling animation, and he keeps knocking you into the animation each time and hits you, and he effectively one hit kills you. Because you weren't getting out of the way in time because you're playing on hard mode, which means that the stabs take less damage away and there's more of them, so it takes longer. And then, great game. At least on the PS2 and the PS3. I don't know.
Hard mode, aka tedious mode.
It's not even that though. I'm okay with there being extra stat points. I knew what I was getting into when I selected that, but the game's very easy. Otherwise, you only have like 2 or 3 stat points per monster, per colossi, and it does kind of go through pretty quick. So I wanted to extend that, but maybe I don't know. They added coins. So if you want to explore the world, maybe you'll find a coin and you pick it up. Bling! It's like, wow, now there's little collectibles in the game. I think there's new trophies. If you like that, there's a photo mode that I keep activating by accident. So turn that off unless you're ready to take a photo, because it's like a L3 or some button that's easily pressed by accident. I don't know. The game is already on sale. Once again, I don't remember if it was you guys on Retro Fandango or someone was talking about how games will be on sale really quickly, really soon.
Yeah.
And I think you guys were talking about new God of War once again. You're saying it's going to be $30 in a couple months or something. I mean, which Shadow of the Colossus right now is $30. So
yeah,
already
like
feeling that pinch.
What do we say? What's in that next? Detroit being like everyone's they're gonna be pushing that game, right? So that God of War is gonna get a little price dip. That by the time we get to Red Dead, God of War will be in the $10 bin. You'll be able just to pick that up.
Maybe not that low, but
probably the $20 bin, but
30, 40.
Absolutely 30.
In moves bucks, of course. 30, 40.
Yeah.
I can see it. I still don't want to play it.
Oh yeah.
It just looks like God of War ripped off The Last of Us. It's just old man and kid running around. I went through this.
I want to give it a try. I want to give it a shot, but I don't know.
He throws an axe and then it comes back for some reason, and then you fight the other super people. But now they're like Nordic super people. I don't know. I don't get it. I need to be spoiled to the extent where I'm like, oh, that looks awesome. Like when I was watching someone play Soma and they found the anglerfish, I'm like, that's awesome. Now I want to play Soma. And then I like Soma. That's a great game. Anyways, moving on. Agretsuko. Yoshi Bin, have you heard of this anime?
No. What's it about?
It's okay, first of all, it's by Sanrio, who are the Hello Kitty people. But don't tune out yet, Kevin, because there's a catch here.
Tuned out. I'm gone.
Don't do it yet. This is an anime designed for 30-something-year-olds working dead-end jobs, because that's what this character is.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. You'll be back hard because everyone's like a cute anime critter, like she's a red panda, but it could easily just as well be regular people it could be a live action.
I googled it.
Like you see the red
search
panda
is showing up a bunch of like, I don't know. Is this a cat?
Red
Is
panda.
this a fox?
Red panda. Red panda. Don't
look like a panda.
That's a red panda right there. Anyways,
Agretsuko?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix?
Yes.
Got like a little furry thing and a suit.
I'm explaining it right now, Yoshi. Damn it, Yoshi. Anyways. Okay, so she's an office worker in Japan. She takes a crowded subway to work every day. Her boss is literally a pig. He's like a sexist old school asshole. He makes her do like waitress work, like make a tea for me or pour this drink for me. I don't know why they're drinking wine at work. And he's like, no, you're pouring it wrong. You got to have the label up to the top so people can see when you're pouring it. And she's like, I'm here to do, I'm an accountant. Why am I doing this work? And he's the boss, so you got to do it. And she makes the tea and she's really mad. Her whole thing is that, she's, proper Japanese employee. You got to be all polite and nice to people. But inside, she's full of rage. Hence the Agret part of her name, which is Retsuko. So they added aggression, Retsuko, and squish it together. And after work, she goes, no one knows about this, but she goes to the local karaoke parlor and she just sings death metal. It's like, "Raw, you're the worst boss ever. You made me pour tea at work instead of doing work. Everything's the worst." And every episode usually ends, at least the first couple of ones before the story really starts up, and it's just her like existing this relatively pointless existence, and it's just a crappy time and everything's the worst. But you got to work for a living, and that's where she ended up. And I can relate. It's too real. I made it several tweets where I'm posing apart. There's one scene where some friend of, not even a friend, but just someone she knows maybe from the office, is getting married to someone else. And in Japan, I guess it's accustomed to give like, a couple $100 so the new family can, have money to, buy a house or have kids or whatever. It's a thing. I think they did that in The Godfather at the start. Everyone brings the money. Same idea. Cultural thing. And she's like, I'm not going to have any money for food now. It's like this. There's this line where it's like, my blood and tears have been turned into 30,000 yen or $300, whatever the exchange rate is. And then like the next scene, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a cafe for lunch. So you guys at work can just stay in the food court. And then she like goes into a closet and eats like bread crusts for lunch. And it's like, no, it's too real. She couldn't afford it, but she had to because of society. And then in the later episode, they find out that the couple broke up, and she's like, "What? But my money? Can I ask for the money back?" It's like, oh. And I don't want to get too much further into it, but it's an excellent show, and you don't need to like be a fan of anime or even like cute Hello Kitty creatures to enjoy the message that lies within. I will say there's a neat segment where other people do find out about her death metalness, and it does come out in interesting ways. And she makes friends with some of the higher up office ladies, and those are really fun characters because the one is like this bird, like this thin, like prim bird creature. And the other one is just a gorilla. So it's like this office woman, Japanese woman, but she has the face of a gorilla, but she's wearing like an office woman's dress, and it's a good time. It's a fun show. It's of everything here, I'd say that's something everyone should check out for sure. And like Yoshi Ben said, it is available on Netflix, or you can acquire it digitally from the dark web, as Kevin likes to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fun show. Agretsuko. Needs more merch for Sanrio, the kings of merch. Like, Hello Kitty merch. It's everywhere. I've even got a little Hello Kitty merch right here. Look at that. Why is that there? I don't know. It's Hello Kitty. Remember that time we played that Wii U game, Yoshi Ben?
Oh, you mean the one that you probably shouldn't have sold when you sold it because it ended up being one of the most expensive.
Why do people make the shadiest game?
That is literally the most expensive Wii U game now.
It doesn't deserve it. People, please. It's coming back. It's on Switch.
It's because
low production run, I guess.
No, not only probably a low production run, but also I believe it lets you hack your Wii U.
Anyway,
there you go.
Well, I got that doodle swap game on the 3DS that
because that also happened to a couple 3DS games when they once the modding community finds out they can use a game to hack it, it just skyrockets.
Yeah, that game sucked. I liked it. No, I didn't. It was bad. It was good for good video fodder. Like we're saying, YouTube's that game is perfect for YouTube.
Baby's first Mario Kart.
Yeah, it only existed because Mario Kart 8 was coming out on the Wii U, and then another company's like, we gotta people that Mario Kart hype, it's there. We gotta cash in on it before the actual game comes out.
You know what you could have bought instead of that? That's a much better racing game.
What's that?
Sonic All-Star Racing's Transformed.
I had that on PS.
That's a good game.
That's a good game. We should play the game. No one ever wants to play anything.
I have the Wii U version.
Whenever
I have friends over and you're playing the Wii U, nobody ever wants to play that racing game.
That's because Mario Kart's there.
Yeah, and now I have a Switch with Mario Kart, so you ever think that anyone's ever going to want to play racing games on the Wii U again?
I was kind of in the mood to play Mario Kart on Wii U the other day.
Well, once you get a Switch, you'll get the Switch version.
We'll get there. We're on our way. Okay, next up, Conan the Barbarian, movies 1 and 2. I did think maybe I would want to save this for the movie cast, but I don't know when I'll do the next movie cast. By the way, next movie cast is probably going to be Short Circuit 1 and 2 with everyone's favorite Australian, AC. So look forward to that. Let's check in the chat real quick. Okay, the chat is empty. Okay, good. But Conan 1 and 2, better than expected. If you like Arnold, and of course, if you did hear the first movie cast, we were in the Arnold Schwarzenegger mood, and this is more of it. Fun movies. I'm kind of curious. There's this character named Sabutai or something like that. He's like a thief or something from the first Conan movie, but he doesn't return in the second one. And then there's another thief guy who isn't that, but it's a different thief guy. And I'm like, what happened to the first thief guy? He was still alive by the end. Spoilers. But I don't know. Maybe they just couldn't get the actor or he wanted too much money. I don't know. But yeah, fun movies. If you're like classic barbarian, like I was getting bored on Twitter, and so I was like, what are games that are like Conan? And I spent the rest of the day tweeting out games like that, like Magic Sword or King of Dragons or others. Anyways, fun stuff. I might go into greater detail in the movie cast. There's not a whole lot to say. If you like Arnold with a sword, cutting up, I'm using, special effects aren't the best, but you get Grace Jones in the sequel. Grace Jones, Kevin, get hype. I have it at the very end of the episode, but I'm looking forward to playing Conan Exiles because that's the PS4 and probably Xbox and computer. It's one of these, survival games, but set in the Conan universe. I wouldn't mind picking that up next paycheck. What's neat about that is you can have your dick out.
Well, there you go.
What?
Yeah, you can just.
Now you need it on your Switch so you can take it in bed with you.
Damn. Apparently the consoles have loincloths, but the PC version, they don't care, man. It's just you're just windmilling left and right or whatever you need to do. It's just
go PC Master Race right there.
There you go. I want the disc though. It is collector. Lloyd likes the discs. Look at the Mega Man on the disc. Woo! Gotta have the disc though.
See, I'm getting to the point where I look around. I'm like, I have all this crap. It takes up so much space.
Yeah,
I'm half tempted to condense most of my games down into I don't know, a single shelf or two.
Mm-hmm. That would be ideal, especially if you can get a good deal for the games if you sell them.
Well, there's a lot of games I have that I wouldn't want to sell, but there's also a lot of games I can look at over here for NES, and I'm like, I'm never going to play this again. It's garbage.
Yeah.
I should sell off half of these and go buy EverDrives for half my consoles.
Yeah, might as well. That's what my frame of thinking was with the multi-carts. It's like, why would I spend if I can sell Earthbound for the SNES for $250? I mean, that's a lot of games you can buy right there.
I mean,
including the SNES Classic, which has Earthbound built into it. You could buy it digitally on the Switch or the Wii U or whatever. There's
some games like Earthbound, I wouldn't sell that just because games I actually enjoy and I probably wouldn't sell. Games I just picked up that I'm just like, why the hell do I own this? They don't care about this game. If I look at my Genesis collection, stuff like X-Men, X-Men 2, why the heck do I have those? Why do I have the Vector Man games? I don't care about Vector Man.
Those aren't good. I
tried playing those games.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the camera's
whatever.
too close.
I've played platformers.
Can't see what's happening.
Move out. I like the first one.
Vector Man?
I like Vector Man 1. The first one. The second one, I'm not too jazzed about. I like the first one.
Comic Zone. Is that good or is it hard? It's good, but it's too
hard.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It's probably too hard to even care about. And I'm not the biggest comic book fan to begin with, so I'm like, why do I have comic book video games? I don't even like comic books.
It's an amazing game. That is definitely. It's on the collection. I think that's at the end of the show as well. But I'm looking forward to the
Genesis collection.
Exactly. That's $30 for 50 games. Like Alien Storm is on there. That's that stupid treasure game everyone's all excited about. That's $200 on if you wanted the original.
Whenever I come to Cartridge Con, I'll probably try and unload some of the games I don't care about anymore.
Yeah, well, there you go. Options there. Make some quick cash. Anyways, back to me. After Conan 1 and 2, this is on a disc I mentioned quickly on the movie cast. 4-movie marathon Epic Exploits Collection, which is now also available at local Walmarts. So you don't need to go to Amazon for it. So it's got Conan the Barbarian. That's good. Conan the Destroyer. That's good. But then Kull the Conqueror. So I'm like, what the hell is this? Why is Kevin Sorbo in a movie? Turns out this was actually a script for a third Conan movie, but they just couldn't get Arnold. He was doing other movies, and much like putting a podcast, I need a drink. Much like putting a podcast together, it's very easy for people's schedules to be out of control, and the episode just doesn't happen. And I guess that's what happened with the third Conan movie, so I know that feel. But later on, they used, I guess, the script, and they made this Kull the Conqueror. But I'm sorry, Kevin Sorbo is not Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's I watched halfway through, and interest was lost pretty quickly. I will finish it, but it's not great. Just stick to Conan 1 and 2. Get that 80s fun. Grace Jones. She's practically naked, for better or for worse. We're just about to recess. I'm going to mention real quick Justice League. I finally saw the live-action Justice League movie. I thought people hated Superman, but now everyone likes him at this point because he's gone. I was saying the other day how epic the original DC movie music themes were. Like, there's no Superman song, which actually I might sneak into the recess. I'm going to make a note of that because I mentioned it. Superman theme. Like, that's a good ass theme right there.
Should put the what was the Crash Test Dummies Superman song? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Superman never made any money. There you go.
In the world.
Never heard that one.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, like, I don't know. It wasn't great. It was like a crappier, much like Hello Kitty Cruisers. It's like, we got to get this out before the real game comes out. Marvel, whatever, Thanos glove hunters. I don't know.
The Avengers.
Yeah, that's the one. Avengers. What was that? Second and third Avengers movie?
Technically third, but it's really the fourth because the third Captain America movie was basically an Avengers movie.
Was that the Winter Soldier?
No.
Oh yeah, Civil War. That was a good one. That was good. That was cool. What team are you? I'm Team Cap.
Yeah, Team Cap.
Yeah, good. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
So you talked about Marvel movies in a podcast. That's that meme that goes around on the social media. Anyways, yeah, the ending was cute because, spoiler, Lex Luthor escapes, and he's like, "I'm gonna make my evil Justice League," and he calls in Deadshot, Slade, whatever, the guy from Teen Titans, and it's like, hey, neat, that's fun. That's the best part of the movie, the very end.
Is it still the Facebook kid playing Lex Luthor?
Yeah, same guy. Yeah. He's bald now, of course.
Oh.
And they fought someone called Steppenwolf in the movie, and he's like, I don't know who this is, but then Superman comes back. I don't care. I'm spoiling it. Fuck you. They don't bring him back, though. It's not like in the comics. They bring him back a different way. I won't spoil that, but it's dumb anyways. But then Superman's back. He does have this one cool line that I really liked in the movie where he's talking to Batman. He's like, "You won't let me live. You won't let me die." And that was cool. And then he fights people because he's like, I'm back to life, but I'm crazy because I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to kill everyone really quickly. But then Lois Lane shows up. He's like, oh, I remember now. And then he disappears, and then he comes back at the end, and he kills this guy named Steppenwolf. And you're like, who is this Steppenwolf guy? I don't know who he is. And he beats him up because he's Superman. And Steppenwolf sucks. And he mentions Darkseid, and I guess that's a guy. It's like the main DC bad guys. But we're like, just like, why did you screw up the Doomsday movie? That's where everyone wants... make a good Doomsday movie. Anyways, I think there's a live action Doomsday movie. And if you like DC characters, stick to the animated DC movies because those are usually better. Okay. Finally, I played Firewatch. That's a game. It's like it's one of the walk-in sims, but there's drama. It's human drama. He plays this guy who married a woman, but then she has what was it? The memory loss thing. What's that called?
Amnesia.
No, the other one. The one that old people get.
Oh, Alzheimer's.
Yes. She has Alzheimer's. But she's it's early onset Alzheimer's. So he's distraught because he can't care for her because she's...
Right.
Yeah. So she goes back to her family and he's like, oh my God, I'm so distraught. I need to get away for a while. So he takes this job looking for fires in a park. Is this a job I can do? Because I like the sound of this job. That's awesome.
We got no Wi-Fi out there though.
We got the multi-cart though. We got the power.
There you go.
I could just have Twitter, but it's like a notes and just leave notes.
No, I'm not sure if it's a job still for today because that game takes place in the 80s, I think. Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's still around today because they've improved technology has improved all that.
Yeah, I hope so.
They could probably just use a satellite to track fires now, but it was a job back in the day.
Yeah, that's pretty neat though. I mean, there's forest rangers. I'm sure that's a thing. Something to look into. Nice clean air. But yeah, actually, have you played this one, Kevin?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was very Metroidvania. Surprisingly so. There's things like, oh, there's a ledge, but you can't climb it yet because you don't have your repels.
Rope yet? Yeah, that's true.
No, there's bushes. Can't get through the bushes. Need an axe. Then you find an axe.
Right.
You can go back. And I thought that was a neat touch. And I really liked that the story got a bit X-Files-y halfway through.
Yeah.
Like things start to happen outside of the basic. There's kids causing a ruckus, so stop them from doing that because you're a Firewatch man. Or here's an old guy that used to work here, but now he doesn't. But then you start finding other things. Like here's a Firewatching, but it burned down. What happened there? There's a cave. But there's a gate, but it's locked. Oh, how do I get in there? And then there's things that happen. I won't spoil this because it is worth playing through. And story gets interesting. We'll just leave it at that. Gets a bit X-Files-y, but at the end it kind of fizzles out. I don't know. Did you feel that way as well, Kevin? It kind of all comes back to Earth at the end.
I think they had to wrap it up at some point, right? I mean, that game really. It's really about exploring the map, like get to the parts of the map that you haven't got to yet, and then like the story unfolds once you get to the new part of the map, and once you're done with the map, it has to wrap up. So they just kind of wrap up the story and get you out of that area, kind of thing.
They make it sound like some weird government thing is happening, or maybe it's aliens, or maybe it's monsters. Like I won't say if it is any of these or not, but
yeah.
It all kind of calms down at the end again. You're just like, oh, okay, well, there you go. Did you take all the pictures with the camera?
I did, yeah. And I found a turtle, and
I didn't find the turtle.
No, I did.
I missed out on achievements or trophies because I didn't use up all the camera pictures. Like, well, fuck you, I didn't know. I could have taken pictures of trees, and I didn't even want to go back and take pictures. Whatever. Yeah, you can very much. I bought it real cheap on PSN on a flash sale.
Yeah, I got on GOG. I got GOG achievements now.
Nice.
With that game.
Like those matter. Give my
Chivos. Oh man, you go to a bar, man, you let the ladies know, hey, I got 8 achievements.
GOG you unzip your pants, you pull out the achievement sheet, you show it to
right. And I could take my Switch into the bed. So there we go.
We'll get to it. Right after this recess. You guys need a recess?
I do.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna get my copy because I'm crashing a bit. All right, so that was our what you been playing, what you been watching. So we're going to take a recess, and we'll be back in a minute or two for anyone watching live. Let's check the chat real quick. Another one in the chat. That's okay. And for anyone listening to the edited audio version, I'll probably sneak in a Superman theme or something like that and enjoy that. And then we'll be back with our main topic, which is also the Nintendo Watch, the Nintendo Switch. So we'll see you guys in a bit.
All right.
Okay. Do what you got to do. We'll be back in a bit.
All right.
How you doing, Yoshi? Still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice.
I think my connection keeps like intermittently going out.
What are you watching on? You on a phone or?
Oh, this is my laptop. It's a piece of crap. It's old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been on the Cartridge Club stream enough, so I think you know what device you have will work best.
Well, I only have one device that's got a camera and a microphone. As far as computers go, that's not handheld. I don't think you can do that one, Steven. It's not magic.
Well, that's Nintendo magic. Considering how much that costs, it should be able to do. Excuse me. It's okay, we're on the break. Look, I got a fidget spinner. Look at this. It claims to glow in the dark, but it doesn't. It's just green.
That's like... So last year...
Yeah. It was free. EB Games was just giving them away.
Probably because they can't sell them.
No, exactly. It even came with this case.
That was like super popular for like a month, and then no one gave a shit about them anymore.
Yeah, well, it's just a fad. It's still fun though. It is good for podcasting if you're just, in that frame of mind and you're talking or listening or whatever, but you still want to fiddle. I don't know if you can see it, but my desk is covered in robots. So there's plenty to fiddle with, but it's easy to knock them over. Oh well, that's life. Stand them up, and then you get knocked down, you stand them up again. Deep thoughts. Do I need to use the washroom? I'm going to try. I'll be right back. no. Table, no. Okay, I'm back. Did we lose everyone? Show's over.
I'm still here, just,
Okay.
you know. Oh, had the microphone covered. That explains some issues, but not all of them.
Kevin muted himself even though he's not there. That was suspicious. Let's watch. Him and his framed posters. Oh my god. He's got a Care Bear? Oh, we got to bring that up.
Wait, what?
Look. Got a Care Bear next to his Blue Jays hat. There's this underground
Right under
Care
that
Bear
Zelda poster?
Yeah.
Mm.
I got to ask him about that. I'm going to ask him about when we're back on officially.
What's going on with the Care Bear?
Mm-hmm. Well, Sean has Care Bears too. I'm missing out on this Care Bear hype.
Yeah, I don't get one of those.
Was there any other Nintendo discussions? Anything else they're doing? We're kind of just before you.
There's Nintendo Online service, but that's not much to talk about.
Yeah, that's part of the Switch talk.
Yeah, we can go into that. That's like,
I didn't do much research. I figured we just talk about it.
well, there's not really that much to research.
Good.
Other than there's games and stuff on there, but I think, yeah, we'll get into that later.
Conan Exiles. Have your dick out. Game looks fun. I think.
What?
The Conan Exiles game. I've got a lot of games on my list here. Hey, you know where I'm going after this? Going to the museum. I look forward to tweets from the museum. A free pass. The museum's expensive. It's for tourists. Tourist costs a lot, so everyone's like jacking our prices up. But there's a free pass you can get from the library. And I got it. That'll be fun. I'm sinking again. Yoshi Band has no camera.
Yeah, I turned it off.
He is a talking circle. I'm sinking into the darkness. Toys. They're so far away. What's neat about the pause is that's whenever when I edit, I can tell where the recess is because it's usually a space of nothing. That's useful. Oh, I hear fiddling.
Oh, that's just me tapping stuff.
Oh. We lost Kevin. Yeah. Switch. How much is that silly thing? It's like $400 now. Moose bucks.
Where are you getting 400 moose bucks?
Exactly. Let's see. You know what bugs me about this power supply is I don't even know for certain that that's the problem. It's kind of tricky to troubleshoot it. Crew doesn't really tell you anything. It's like boop, just turns off, and boop, it's back on.
That's more like that's probably the power supply. It's got some weird intermittent fault somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of things plugged into your computer? Like a lot of USB?
Yeah, I suppose.
Because that'll affect the power supply.
Do you know the wattage of the power supply?
I did.
And if you're running a fairly decent PC build, It all depends on what you have in there, how old it is, all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm. Many things to consider. That's what's so nice about consoles. You turn the thing on, you put the thing in, you push the thing, and off you go.
Until it red rings or yellow light of death
or tell you no. Let's be honest. We have modern consoles now. You get home, you unwrap the thing, you plug it in, you go to put in the game and turn on the TV, and then you're like, mandatory system update. Total 20 gigs. What the?
That's a bit much. Not that much.
Or what is it? Total download time 5 hours.
Well, you gotta have modern connections for modern consoles.
Mm.
I mean, we're not Asia quality in connections, but I mean, you can do those things. Like my PS4 is in sleep mode, so I can have it download stuff in that mode.
But you get what I mean.
Pretty neat. I get ya. All right, everyone back. Chat's quiet. Nothing's changed for us. There we go.
We got a thunderstorm rolling in, so hopefully I stay connected.
Yeah. Well, that's the HYPECAST way. We're always living on the edge. Anything could drop at any time. Yoshi's connection.
I remember back when this was on Skype, when you'd go out like 5 times a show.
Yeah. Stupid Skype. Windows 10 Skype seems better, but I really don't use it much in the first place. Those times I did seemed alright.
I don't know. Skype seemed to go the way of the dodo.
Yeah, well, Discord, man, it's got that hype. Not for Kevin, but everyone else. Yeah.
No, we still use Skype on the old man Retro Fandango podcast.
But I use
sticking
Windows
to it.
10 Skype.
No, I did. I was, but it was annoying. It wasn't giving me alerts. Like Richard would send me something and I wouldn't get anything. So now I went back to using it through the browser, through Google Chrome, and it seems to be working.
Oh, really?
Better. Yeah.
Browser version. Well, the most secure one I
Not
have
the browser, the program, the actual program, not the app. You know how there's like an app and then the program? I'm using the program.
Yeah. Okay. But non-Windows 10 version.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah, that is
Why
so
would there be two
stupid.
different versions of it?
I don't know.
I don't understand why we have to have computer programs that are programs and computer programs that are apps.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
Well, the apps are more for like tablets and smartphones, but then they just also can work, I guess, on PC.
Yeah.
Like when you click on the Microsoft store, it's like, what is this? What is this for tablets? Is it for the Xbox? I don't know. Anyways, no, that's not it. Anyways, and we're back. Okay, so we just had a recess, and now we're back to talk both the Nintendo Watch and our main topic, because they're pretty much the same thing, and we just kind of squish them together. We're actually recording this pretty close to E3. So I'm sure there'll be a ton of announcements I want to HYPECAST upon, but that's after this, so who knows when that'll happen. Another 5 months down the lane. Before we get too deep into it, though, we were looking at Kevin's background, and Kevin, is that a Care Bear?
Yeah, that's my Grumpy Bear.
That's a good bear.
I had that. That was the one I had when I was a kid.
Nice.
Yep.
I have one called BC Lion, but he's in the closet. He's at the top, though. He's looking down on everything like a boss. That's funny because not too long ago I was talking with Sean P1 over there, and he apparently has a whole collection of Care Bears in the basement. And I'm like, what's that's interesting. Huh. Who'd have thunk it? Care Bear hype, man, I'm telling you. There's this underground Care Bear movement I don't know about, but I want to be a part of. Possible show title.
Care Bear movement?
Underground Care Bear.
Care Bear is underground.
Yeah.
Woo!
No, there's a Sonic Underground. Remember that show? Sonic.
No,
that's okay.
I remember Tony Hawk Underground. I never played it, but
no, yeah,
beat in the cheap bin all the time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hype or lack thereof, the hype is definitely dead with Tony Hawk by that point.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
which is too bad because I'm sure those were good games too. But
those were good games when they came out. When you were like a fuck-nosed skateboarding teenager that sucked at skateboarding, so you'd play those games and then not suck in the game.
Yeah, but we already had those with like Tony Hawk 1 to 4, and then they kind of kept going. Yeah. They Activisioned it. It's like with the Guitar Hero games, and there's just even the Skylander games. Like,
yeah, but Underground was probably when they kind of peaked. Underground and Underground 2 is probably the peak of that series. Because my brother did follow that as a kid.
Some might say the first was the best. That soundtrack, though.
I played the N64 version of that one, so I don't know.
Talk about slumming it, Yoshi. Jeez.
God damn.
Dead series.
Poor bastard. You know, it was a good time. Was Half-Life 1 on the Dreamcast?
They made that?
No. Well, they did, but they didn't release it. But you could acquire it because the Dreamcast was like super easy for to download.
Yeah, I don't recommend doing that. I have a Dreamcast over here that's dead because people played burned games on it.
Yeah.
If you play burned games on your Dreamcast, you should probably stop because you are killing your laser.
Yeah. Jokes on you. I don't play my Dreamcast at all.
Well, the joke's on them because you can't find replacement lasers. You have to spend like $300 on the USB replacement kit thingy. And at that point, screw it.
Shenmue's coming back, 1 and 2 HD.
Well, don't you just need to make sure that you burn the discs at a very slow rate?
Oh God, I remember that.
No, because the laser in there is actually made for a very specific type of disc. Pretty much, Sega made a proprietary disc just for the Dreamcast, and it just so happens to also read CD-ROMs. But CD-ROMs are harder on it, so if you really want to play burn disc, you should probably go for the highest quality CD-ROMs you can get.
Hell yeah, top of the line.
None of that, like Memorex crap or whatever you can buy from Walmart for $5.
Don't make me whip my binders out. We'll take a look.
Because I got a legit copy of Hydro Thunder, and that's one of my favorite games on the Dreamcast, and it doesn't work. The Dreamcast won't read it, and apparently that was a problem with the first run of that game. There's several games that are like that, like very early Dreamcast games where they just don't work. So I said, screw this. I'm not going to buy this game again. It's expensive, so I just burnt myself a copy of it. And the burnt copy works fine, but it's the only burnt game that I play on it. So maybe if it's just one,
if you only do it occasionally, it's one of those things. Yeah. It's like it's like anything with electronics. It's damaging it over the course of days, months, years, etc. It's not just your laser's not just going to die overnight because you played a burned game. No, but if you constantly play only burned Dreamcast games in this thing for like a year or two, you're going to notice it stopped reading disc properly. Or like it won't want to read the normal Dreamcast disc right anymore. So you will notice a change.
You know what? I'll just play Hydro Thunder on the Xbox 360 then. I'll just stick to that one.
Will it allow you though, or just single player?
Oh, just single player. I never played multiplayer anyways. I don't like people. I don't want to play with other people. They're awful. Single player all the way.
And you have people there too. We have no West Coast. Trying to get the Q Docs to come to the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo. Like,
I really don't have people. Like everyone is busy. They're doing stuff, and everyone lives like 3 or 4 hours away. You know, like Bill lives an hour away. He's close. And Joe. I mean, Joe's around the corner from me, but good luck getting that guy out.
Yeah.
You know. So. And then everyone else lives down in over in Waterloo in that area. It's like 2-3 hours away. You know.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm on an island. Everything's very close. So I don't have no car. It's just there's a bus.
Well,
there's I've been meaning to take a picture of it, but there's a few bus stops where it's got like 10 different buses, different numbers, of course, and each one just says downtown. Downtown. That's gonna make you tweet along the lines of, where should I go today? And then downtown. That's about all the choices we have around here.
Well, I know where I'm at. There's a couple of guys that are a couple hours away, but that's about it. So
that's why I'm online with people who are into games, because there's no one around here that's into games.
I know, but I can't even get you guys to play online games with me. No one's play Monster Hunter or Left 4 Dead or anything.
See, you're sleeping when my prime time to play games online. You are asleep because you are on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Or when I'm playing games, you guys are all asleep.
That's right. I'm in bed.
Richard's online, but he's like, like 3 gens back.
Yeah.
He has nothing that could do online.
He's like, I just got a PS2.
Yeah, there you go.
It's great.
To play God of War and then to not want to play it. There's too much God of War talk in this episode.
It's like, I just beat God of War for the PS2.
I never thought it was...
I'm surprised there haven't been more troll videos on that.
You know what God of War did really well? The first God of War demo, like with the Hydra and the boat. That was...
Yeah. That was the opening of the game, so...
Anyway.
Yeah. That was
the
big
demo
time.
ends when like the extra heads pop out. Like,
Something
was big time
Nintendo
stuff.
Switch.
Because you didn't really fight big monsters like that on a console before, you know?
That was AAA.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, I don't have it in our interesting news, but I think like the next Tomb Raider game has like $100 million budget or something like that.
Wow.
And so like AAA isn't enough. Now we got to go quadruple A. Like, like Red Dead is going to be a quadruple.
Oh boy.
Well, Red Dead's gonna make more money than most movies, right? Like the Grand Theft Auto 5 made more than all of Hollywood did in 1 year. You know?
Yeah, but they also took 5 years to make a game, so they get the amount by the time. So by doing that and by releasing a very, very good game, you end up with a massive amount of hype behind you because people are just sitting there going, "I want this game! I want this game! I want this game!" And then it being the series that it is, that's why. It's literally a good series. I can't argue with that. I haven't played it since the PS2 days, but that's also because I got my fill back then. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care.
I played a wee bit of Red Dead Revolver, and that was it. I'm sure I must have Red Dead Redemption on PS3.
Oh, Red Dead Revolver is nothing like Redemption. Redemption is leagues.
Yeah, I can see it. It's down there.
It's a good game. Revolver's a good game, but yeah.
So
you'd think they would HD that up. Like that's what's so great about the Shenmue 1 and 2 HD coming out on current gen. It's like that makes perfect sense because there's a Shenmue 3 people keep going on about, but there's so many people out there who have no idea because that's way back from the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
and it would have been probably an expensive game to 10. That's one of those multi-disc releases. I'm sure a lot of people were like, it's too expensive. Cool game. At least it was. I'm curious to see how we'll feel about it once we play it nowadays.
Maybe they're out. That's as far as I got. I kept going door to door and nobody was home. Maybe they're out. I did that about 20 times. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this game. I'm good.
I'm
anyway,
looking for a man named Charlie.
Isn't there something we're supposed to be talking about?
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah, slowly working our way.
Good segue chat, though. We can't poo-poo the segue chats. Anyways, now that Yoshi has poo-pooed the segue chats, let's move on to our main Nintendo Watch. I'll do the spiel. And now it's time for the Nintendo Watch, where we take a look at that most wacky and mysterious of companies, Nintendo, and we say, hey, what are they up to this time? Not much, I guess. I mean, the Labo came out. Have you Laboed yet, Yoshi?
No, I'm not buying extremely expensive cardboard.
Yeah.
Are you freaking crazy? I will get yelled at if I buy overpriced cardboard. I will get yelled at.
I still think it's funny. They never really conceived that buying that also came with like a game. I always just thought it was like just cardboard and the game would be free or something.
I mean, there is a game there, but still, I will get yelled at. I already get yelled at for buying video games, so.
But yeah, I mean, what else is there for Nintendo lately? It's just been, typical remasters and deluxe versions. Captain Toad's coming out. I love me some Captain Toad.
Well, what I'm noticing with the Switch is if you're only following the mainstream games that Nintendo is marketing and putting out, you're probably going to be bored, or you're probably only going to have, Super Mario Odyssey or Zelda or like one of the few big name games on it at the moment. But
what else is there though?
There's quite a lot of stuff, but you kind of have to go dig through the very, very tedious eShop to find it. Or you have very clunkily based Amazon or look online to find the different games that have been released. Because the majority of games that seem to be released just get released, and there's no announcement. There's nothing coming out about them. They're just, here it is. Go find it.
Yeah, there's something about this interface that screams beta. Like it's not definitely not a polished interface at all.
That's the hip thing to do now. Just consumers are the beta testers.
But the games that are on the eShop, they're just indie games. They're not full-fledged AAA games.
There's a mixture. Like, you see a lot of the indie games, but also you can see when the AAA games pop up. There's some of them are imports, and some of them are not.
Really?
For me, most of the games I'm interested in aren't coming out. I know one's coming out in like a month. And there's a couple other ones that are coming out later this year I might be interested in, but...
So what's a AAA game that's on the Switch eShop?
Oh,
I'm just curious. I don't know. I haven't looked at...
Literally.
All of them? Wait, let me look at this eShop.
No.
I hate this. First of all, the stupidest thing about the eShop on here is that you have to sign in every time.
You can have it set up so it signs in automatically.
Can you?
But you have to have like one account or something like that. I don't know. Mine just signs directly in automatically. You go click the eShop button and the eShop pops up.
I have to sign in every single time.
Well, it feels like something there'd be like a little checkbox, you know?
There's no checkbox.
Sign in every time.
It's a bit more convoluted than that.
There's a hidden away in menus, I guess.
I guess I shouldn't say sign in, but put my password in.
For example,
it doesn't remember your password?
No, I remember it, but I have to.
It doesn't remember.
No, it doesn't.
Here's one of the big problems.
This is Nintendo we're talking about.
It's almost impossible to find the game you want because, like, you have to go sit there and scroll through hours and hours, like screens and screens of things. But once you do find, if you have an idea of what game you want, or you looked it up online, it's easy to find. But you are getting stuff like the Mega Man Legacy collections on here. There's tons of ports.
That's not AAA though. Mega Man Legacy.
I know it's not.
Right.
Yeah, let's see. AAA. You can get Doom.
AAA. Okay, yeah, but that came out on a physical version as well.
There isn't anything really that's physical only or digital only. Well, there's a lot more stuff that's digital only than physical only. But like most of the AAAs, you can buy them digitally, you can buy them physically, but you don't want to buy them digitally because do you really want to like
use up all your space?
Yeah, for one game.
Yeah.
Like I look at some of the how do I put it? I see some games where it's like they have it so that you have to go download part of the game. Or like, what is it? The Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 collection on the Switch. They made it so that one of the games was you had to download it. And it's like 25 gigabytes. So you
isn't the new
card.
Yeah. Isn't the new the Resident Evil 7 game, isn't that going to be a stream-only game?
Yeah, that's in Japan.
Oh.
Our internet probably wouldn't be able to handle that anyways.
But there's Skyrim, but really, who cares at this point? You can
these
get
are
Skyrim
all old
for $5 on a lot of things.
I played
That's
that 5 years
issue.
ago. I played it 5 years ago on the PC.
But, okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's get things in focus here. So my first topic for our Nintendo Watch / main topic of the Nintendo Switch is why? Why would me, of all people, the guy who keeps making fun of the Switch because it's nothing but shitty remasters and overpriced hardware, and there's like, where's the new games? There's like a Mario, that's fine. You've played that before, though. It's just another Mario. So why the hell are you even talking about the Switch? Why is it my main topic for this episode 27 of the CAPMAX HYPECAST? Well, I'll tell you why it is. Because they finally announced the one game that would make me want to spend $400 plus tax on Nintendo Switch, and that is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Oh my god, they announced that. That's our big Nintendo watch, is that the game finally is being brought to North America in English. Now, I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World on the PS4. I got that fucker right there. Look at that. And that's a good-ass game, but there's not a lot of content, to be quite honest with you. It's a good game, but it still has that Season 1 feel to it. Like, they've done a couple updates. They've added a couple monsters, but there's, like, for a game this size, you really just need a lot more of everything. And this game that is now coming out for Switch, I think in the summer, has the most of any of these games has ever had, all in one. And pretty darn exciting that we'll finally be able to play that. And it's on a proper console, much like the World game, which is one of the best things about it. Because normally it's one of these games, not unlike Pokemon, where it's kind of been forced into portables for many versions of the game. Japan has an online version, but we won't even get into that because that doesn't count because we don't have access to that. But Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate has been announced, which means, as I said, I'm going to make the biggest 180 face turn of all time if they ever announce it, and they announced it. And you know, the best part is you can transfer your save data from the Generations game they did bring us on the 3DS and put that onto the Switch. So, yeah, I guess I'll spend $500, I guess, to play that some because it's the one game. And believe me, like I said this on Twitter, but I feel like the heart and soul of this very podcast has, and probably will always be, Nintendo. And it's hurt me deep down with how crappy the Switch has been. I'm hearing people, they're so excited, oh, the new game's coming in. But no, it's not a new game. I have it on the Wii U. It's right there. I mean, just there's a Smash Brothers coming out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that Wii U game again, just with a couple more characters. I doubt it's going to be much different at all. But it's just this whole stupid do-over, and I just feel like they just kicked every Wii U owner in the balls and like, well, thanks for buying all our stuff, but we're going to do it all over again, and we're going to make you buy it all over again, but we jacked up the cost too.
Pretty much, yeah, I agree. Like, I'm not going to knock the system for having remasters of Wii U games because it's.
I mean, all consoles do, certainly.
Let's be honest.
The Xbox One and the PS4 had the exact same problem when it was first starting, and the Switch already has a bigger install base than the Wii U does. So there's a lot of people out there that have bought the Switch that never had the Wii U, and this is an opportunity for them to play the games and for Nintendo to get some content out there and make some money so they can make more games. Understood all that. But there are people out there that are in like Steven's situation who put all the money into the Wii U and played the Wii U, and there's nothing there. There's not enough content there. So the simple answer is, just don't buy the Switch. Don't buy it yet. Wait until it gets some content for you.
Oh, hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hold on.
I will say this. I don't think the Switch will probably drop in price anytime soon. Because they're still selling like hotcakes, so that makes no sense. Yeah, I do agree.
Hold on just a second, guys. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Steven. Yes.
So if you did own a Wii U, you did get kicked in the balls.
Boys, can you hear me? Over.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
You can. Kevin's nodding yes. Hold on, I can't hear everyone. I just went deaf. Okay. Oh, don't make me edit. Don't make me edit. No, it's the worst.
We were just getting into this.
Yeah, so Kevin was just talking about something, and it was sounding good. He was getting all hyped about it, and then I just went deaf. Let me see if I can.
Well, can you hear us now?
Let me just do a quick sound check here.
I don't think you can hear us.
I don't think so either.
Good
old Google Hangouts.
Can you guys hear each other okay?
Yes.
Nod yes. Damn. All right.
I bet you it recorded fine too. Because I think he's just using the Google Hangout record.
Okay, try again.
Probably.
Is there a button?
Hello?
Hold on. Let me check. Tricky to do this when I can't hear anyone.
Well,
if we have to, we can shut her down again and start her up. Huh.
It sounds like a lot of hassle.
Probably will.
Could I have pushed a random button? Is there a button? But keep saying stuff so I'll know if you're... That means talk. As you can to say things about me. In front of me.
Oh man,
Steven.
what can we say about Steven that hasn't been already said before?
Media.
He needs to buy a Switch.
He's going to. It's going to happen.
If I leave the call, can I come back or will it shut down?
If he's hosting it, we'll shut down.
Yeah.
Chat, screen share, cameraman, control room. Options. You know, it's weird because I can go into options and I can see the speakers are there, and this is just a cord. Like, there's no nothing that can go wrong with that. But Kevin was talking, and then it just completely shut down. Webcam, speakers. Keep saying stuff, Kevin.
I don't know what to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I can
11,
try dropping
12.
the call, and here it's gonna shut everything down, and then we can meet up again in 5 minutes, I guess. I don't know why this is the first time it's ever done this before, though.
Poor Steven.
Let me
Google HYPECAST.
keep the yeah, this is definitely an edit. Keep the chat open. You can see the chat on the side. Keep communication open just so I know you're there. Should I unplug it and plug it back in again? That seems to be a popular option. Okay, let's see what happens.
So unplug your headphones. Plug them back in.
It's back.
Hello? There you go. See?
Oh, you didn't tell me in the chat.
Well, you got USB headphones?
No, they're just old ass, like, plug the thing into the thing.
That's weird.
Oh man.
Huh. Okay. Well, we're back, I guess.
We were just getting going too. We were at a great conversation. We're kind of done now though. We can't I don't think we can recreate that.
If it's too good, I won't edit it out. Okay, I'm sorry. But we don't need to see. Let's check within the chat real quick though. Nothing in the chat. Okay. Okay. So let me.
I believe we were talking about how Nintendo kicked all the Wii U owners in the balls.
Yeah.
The Switch.
Okay, yeah. So sorry about that. My headset just went quiet for a moment there. So Kevin was speaking. So Kevin, if you could please repeat what you said.
Well, we were talking about how the system is flooded right now with remakes from the Wii U, definitive editions, and all that.
I wouldn't even call them remakes. I would just call them ports.
Ports, yeah, you're probably right. So it's, but you know, the PS4 and the Xbox One had the same problem when it was first out. That's really everybody was complaining about for about a year and a half. That's all it had was ports from other systems. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because, you know, the Switch has a bigger install base than the Wii U ever did. So there's a lot of people out there that are getting a chance to play these games for the first time. And it's a chance for Nintendo to make some money on it again, and they can use that money to make more games and all that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does leave people who did get a Wii U and played all those games on the Wii U. The idea that or the thought of playing them again on the Switch, there's nothing there for you. Like why bother?
Why do I want to go spend $60 on games I already paid $60 for in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, there's.
What do you mean $80?
Yeah, in Canada, the Wii U games, brand new Wii U games, were $50. Now the brand new Switch games are $80.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
the Switch games here are $60, and I still think they're too damn expensive.
Yeah. You're right. Like if it's a port should be, you know, $30, $40.
Knights of Azure 2, you know why I bought that? Because it was $30 on Amazon. I was standing there looking at it in GameStop thinking this game looks pretty cool, but there's not many games out on the Switch yet because we're still like a year and a half into the console, if that, just over a year into this console's life. And I'm looking at it, GameStop's still winning like $55 for a pre-owned version of it. I'm looking on Amazon, they're selling it new for $30. What do you think I did? That's why I was playing that game, is because there's not too much to play on the Switch, and I believe that's a port of a PS4 game. That's because it's also available on PS4. I believe it came out on PS4 first. Stuff we're getting, like there's some games coming out, like Ys 8 is coming in a month. That's already out on other consoles. It's been out for a while. Most of the games we're getting, it's like companies are trying to play catch up to learning the architecture and making Switch ports.
Well, I think it's
such a large install base.
I think it's more they're testing the market and putting out a port of an old game like LA Noire, who needed another port of that, or Skyrim or something. It's low cost, right? And they could just put a small team on it, make a port for this thing. We'll see how this does, and if it sells well, good. If not, it did. I mean, they did the same with the Wii U. The Wii U had, I don't know, what was it, Assassin's Creed 3. They had a bunch of ports too that they just kind of threw out there, and just to see how well the systems do. They did the same with the Vita. They do it with all systems.
Yeah. And they and most of those ports on the Wii U floundered. Because most of the people that bought the Wii U bought it for Mario and Zelda and Xenoblade and Star Fox and Bayonetta and etc.
The Wii U is treated as your second console. Your main console was the PS4, the Xbox One, or maybe the PC. And the Wii U is there, well, I want to play the Nintendo exclusives. Yeah. And when a new game comes out, why would you buy the Wii U version of it that only ran at 26 frames per second when it ran at 60 frames per second on the other console or PC or whatever? So
and all your friends already are there, and you already that's part of it. Is you get kind of locked into a certain network too, so you get locked into being on Sony because you have tons of friends on Sony and people that play that. You get locked into being on Microsoft for the same reasons. Heck, you're gonna have people that are getting locked into the Nintendo Switch at this point. Because it's most of your friends are playing on Nintendo Switch. When the online comes out, that's probably going to increase. Yep. Although Nintendo has they're probably still going to have a very crappy voice chat and party system if that even shows up. I'll be very surprised if any of that stuff shows up. I don't know, but I do feel kind of burnt with the Wii U and the Switch. Because, I go to look at Switch games, and it's all Wii U ports. I'm like, I am not spending $60 on Bayonetta 2 again. When I have Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U, and it runs perfect. How much better is it going to run on my Switch? It's not.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Same with, but then there's ports where they've done, like Mario Kart 8. They did that one correctly. Because they fixed the battle mode. It has an actual battle mode now, which was the biggest complaint people got. And they included all of the DLC tracks in the package. So that and Mario Kart 8 is one of those games that makes sense because you have this portable console. You can just take that with you. And that's one of those games you can very easily just slide the controllers off, hand one to your friend, and just sit there and play. Right off the console. So that one makes sense. Some of the other games, like the single-player games, why? Why do I need to buy Zelda Breath of the Wild when I have it on Wii
U? I kind of want to buy it again.
Well,
I hope I don't. But
I'm not impressed with the Switch's portable mode. I think it's very overrated. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is going to change the way."
It's an HD portable.
Yeah, well, so was the Vita, but really, the thumbsticks aren't that great.
Vita.
The thumbsticks are okay, but they're not that great. But if you're playing something like Mario, there are on something, and it's just not working out with these stupid thumbsticks. The screen's too small, everything's cramped, and I can't get the just from the Pro Controller. And the Pro Controller is just a much better game to play that. And plus, everyone says that Nintendo has moved on from motion controls and all that. That stupid Mario game, you got to shake the stupid controller all the time to do anything. Like you throw your hat and you got to shake it to get it to hone in on something, And so you're trying to do that with this stupid Switch in your hand, and you got to shake the whole system to get him to move the hat. And it's just I don't know. I'm not impressed with the handheld mode at all.
See, to me, I'll agree. I do not like the thing in handhold mode that much because, yeah, it's very awkward to hold and play this unless you're playing like an RPG or something. Like if you're playing like an RPG or a platformer, it's fine. Where you don't have to use both sticks. If you have to use both sticks at once and you're trying to play it in handhold mode, it becomes incredibly difficult and cramping and all sorts of issues. However, if you slide your Joy-Cons off and put the little kickstand up and put it on a table, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
then you can
I've never done that.
Then you can
done that once.
You can hold the controllers in your hand and just play it. But everybody's going to play the thing differently.
Yeah, just got to try them all out, see what works best.
But you see, you got to be sitting at a table or something in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can set it in your lap and look down, but that's also uncomfortable after a while.
Yeah, I don't like
sit there and do that with your neck.
I don't like looking down at my lap.
I don't either.
There's weird things down there.
Now you're talking about kickstands. Wait a minute.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute. Oh, well, first of all, on the topic of why, I was really surprised when Kevin bought his Switch to the point where he was like trading in games and things. Like, was it Twitter hype, Kevin?
No, I've been wanting to downsize my collection for a very long time, and there is just a bunch of crap. I'm actually going to get a table at the next Berry Game Swap or Berry Game Exchange, because I do have a lot of stuff that I want to downsize. But a lot of my games are like the Assassin's Creed series on the Xbox 360. I probably get like, I don't know, maybe $5 for each game.
If you're lucky.
Meanwhile, EB Games had a deal where if you traded in towards, what was it? They had a couple things. They had Xbox One and PS4 games was automatic $10, and it was an additional 40% if I traded in towards something else for the Xbox 360 games. So I was trading in, like I traded in like all my Assassin's Creed games and that, and I was getting like, $6 or $7 each and that. So I had some money left on my account, and I ended up having enough money to buy a Switch and Mario, and the only thing I really had to buy outright was the controller, the Pro controller.
Yeah.
Which is $90, which we'll get into in a minute. But I looked around at EB Games, and there's really nothing for me there anymore. I play most of my stuff on the PC. I wait for games to come cheap, like God of War. Eventually, I'll get it when it drops to $30 or whatever. But I don't buy stuff brand new, and they just really didn't have anything for me there other than the Switch. And I thought to myself, well, at least I'm trading in all this stuff for something. Like, I knew I would play the Mario game, so at least I'm trading it in for something that I would actually use. So really, I play most of my stuff on Steam and everything, so there was just nothing there at EB Games for me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's going to be a big issue for you with the console, because there's not going to be much, and the games that do come out seem to be holding very, very, very long time.
I'm kind of used to that with the Wii U. Like, that was the same story with the Wii U, right?
30s. Yeah. I still have my Wii U. I still have most of the games on the Wii U. So it's kind of like, I'm not rebuying these.
Right.
I rebought Mario Kart 8. I'm kind of wondering why. But...
Well, there you go. We're back to why. That's playing yourselves.
I know. I know the whole reason I own the friggin' thing is because I did a trade for it, which I need to finish my half of that soon. I've been meaning to do it since I got back from school and just got injured and other things. So I'm gonna try and finish a couple consoles up over the next week to get that sent out. But the main reason I wanted the Switch was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That was pretty much the main sole reason I wanted the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And holy crap, that game is amazing. If you have 100+ hours to dedicate to, an extremely long JRPG that's got a very anime-inspired plot, it does have a lot of the anime tropes that you see in like popular anime now. And the Japanese voice acting in that is very, very good. You will notice the script has changed. Yeah, that's why I own one, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Because if I didn't do that trade, I probably would have went out and bought a Switch anyway just to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Mm-hmm. Was it the Mario game that brought you to the Switch then, Kevin? Same idea?
Anyway, sorry.
Like, was it literally like one game? Like, like what Yoshi said is pretty much what I just said.
Yeah, there's a game that comes out that you absolutely want, so that's why you get the console.
No, it's just there was
things.
No, it's just there was nothing else in the store. And if I wouldn't have gotten the deal if I wasn't trading in towards something. If that makes sense. Like you had to trade in towards something to get the extra 40%. So if I would have walked out the store, everything I would have traded in, I would have lost 40% on everything.
So you would have gone from selling and making like a couple $100, you would have made like, a lot less.
So so it was really like I saw the deal and I said, okay, this is an opportunity to get rid of all this stuff, and I really didn't think of what I should get once I get there. And the Switch was something I was thinking about, and I was like, well, that's option B. I'm going to try to find like an option A. Once I got there just wasn't anything there for me. I could have put in for a bunch of pre-orders too, but he was listing off games like I just don't care. I just don't care. I'm like, nah, I don't want that game or whatever. I'd rather just wait for the game to come out and get it at half the price. So it just that seemed like a waste of money for me too, to put it. Like I would have bought 4 games, for the PS4 or something like that, because every game's like $80 now with tax and everything. So that was the other thing too. They had some other deal with the Switch too, where there was no tax on it as well. The guy did me up right. Like I didn't have to spend that much money on it. So, I got rid of a lot of stuff too. So I can't complain about the deal I got. It's just that now that I had it, other than Mario, there's no other game on it for me. Because I'm waiting for Metroid. Metroid's coming out, so at some point. So
I think that you already have Zelda on this Wii U anyway.
Yeah.
And you're probably not willing to rebuy Mario Kart 8.
No, I got Mario Kart already. I don't want to. No.
Yeah. And you don't want to pay 3 times as much for Doom.
Why would I got Doom on the PC. It runs at 60 frames per second. I can run it on 4K on my PC.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it on
the lowly 720p 30 FPS Switch version in
with
dock
mode. No thanks.
With no filtering pretty much at all.
No.
It's good,
just no point.
But it's kind of like, why?
I'm happy it's there for the people that never played Doom. Doom's a good game, and it could be there. They could, go nuts, but it's just not. It's not for me.
I bought it. I'm kind of wishing I didn't, because it's kind of like, this game is really cool, but I paid 3 times as much as I should have for it. Why?
It's that Nintendo effect.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting gadget. Maybe you just want to see what it's all about. Like Kevin's kind of sounds like he got it because of the deal. Like it was just such a good deal.
Yeah, pretty much.
But at the hindsight, it's like, well, now I got it. It's like, well, at the same time, you probably just wanted to know what it was all about, right? I want to know what it's all about. I don't have one. I want to fiddle around with it. And I want to try the.
Well, I tried it out at Hodge's house at Nintendo. Like when it first came out, he had a little shindig and that, and I tried it out, and so I kind of had a little bit of an idea, but yeah. Now I guess I really know what it's about.
Hey, I like the console. I'm just sitting here. It's just things where it's like, okay, cool. I got a nice console to play like indie games on. Because the majority of if I go through my Switch library, it's like half of it's indie games that I've downloaded off the eShop. Wonderboy and the Dragon's Trap. That's excellent. You can get Shantae on there. You can get Sonic Mania. You can get all sorts of really great indie games, which is I think how the modern gaming industry is doing it, because AAA companies can't keep up anymore. Games become bigger and bigger and bigger and more expensive. So now we just get and the middle tier market just went poof.
It's gone.
because that was the market where we got like half, like where a lot of the PS2 stuff was that middle tier market. Like a lot of the really good PS2 games we talk about now came out in that middle tier.
Yeah.
Same with a lot of the other consoles. Now it's like, here's the indie games, some of which may or may not get physical copies. And then here's the AAA games where you might get one a month if you're lucky.
Yeah, and the problem with the indie games for me is that platform. My platform to play indie games is the PC. I got them all. I got a ton on the PC, and you get them dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You know, you get it for like, you wait for a Steam sale, you can get it for like $2 or $3. On the Switch, everything's like $10, $15, because you know Nintendo needs to take its cut, and you know $7.99 or whatever. It's like it just doesn't make any sense for me to get it on this system. You know, especially since I don't really play it that much in handheld mode, when I can play these games on 4K on my PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like everything that Yoshi just listed, I'm pretty sure I have on PS4. Same idea. They're on flash sales probably for $4 or $5, which is good. I'm glad to see that console sales are getting close to Steam sales because
yeah,
like,
Sony's been killing it with those flash sales for sure.
Well, I'll be honest. Even on the Switch, Nintendo is doing occasional sales, but they're honestly not that great. Like
they're not deep cuts.
No,
they're cuts, but not deep.
One of the best ones I found was Wonder Boy went on for like a day or two for $10. So that way, like snatched up instantly because I'm like, this is going to go back to $20 in a day. Yeah. They're not going to leave this 50% off very long.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, within that day or two, it instantly shot up to like near the top of the best sellers charts. So,
yeah, well, I'm sure.
Because I also know next month's club game, the club game for June, is for sale on the Switch right now, but it's still like $18 after you pay tax. That's US, so it'll probably be like 20 something in Canada.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. Well, Nintendo needs to take its cut, you know.
Yeah.
So they're definitely they have that Apple vibe to them now. Like they're the hip. If you're the top of the top ultimate gamer, you gotta have those Nintendo products. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, they pretty much brought games out of the muck back in the NES days.
That was 30 years ago. I think we should be over it by now.
I know. I'm saying though they've got that lineage torque off of the.
Yeah,
that's why people do buy the same, or well, not necessarily the same, but they'll buy the next Mario or Zelda game because they've known these characters so long, and it's a time-tested product.
I think every time we get a new Mario or Zelda game, it kind of hits that nostalgic itch for a lot of people.
Certainly. So, like, I'm certainly excited to see if there's another Breath of the Wild coming up. I'll buy a Switch for that too. Hell yeah. Maybe they'll have a Switch 2 by that point, or the Switch DX. Fixes all the problems. As soon as I buy one, that's when they'll announce it.
We updated the processor. It still has a plastic screen. # deal with it.
The new Nintendo Switch DX. As soon as I buy one, that's when they'll announce it. Actually, do you think they'll do a Switch? Well, I know it's kind of. I'm laughing on the inside, but do you think they'll do a Switch sale for E3 once they announce something? Switch sale?
No.
I
mean, you're not going to get that on sale
because they'll know people have the E3 hype for whatever gets announced, and it's like, and now buy a Switch now, get it for $20 off for the next. Well, it's possible, but. Do we know anything that they really have to announce? Because a lot of
probably going to see Metroid. We're going to see Metroid. We might see something to do with that, Star Fox Racing rumor.
Oh yeah.
Whatever some of the
which I came up with, by the way, back on whatever HYPECAST.
Honestly, if you ever see any of those rumor sheets, just ignore it. It's all bullshit.
Then one of them said the Forza Horizon 5 is coming out, and there is no Forza Horizon 4.
Forza Horizon 5 is coming out for a console that doesn't have any Forza games on it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, dude, you know how easy it is to make one of those? You go open up Microsoft Word.
Well, they're practically
go to Google. You look up Nintendo Treehouse. You copy that stuff into the Microsoft Word. You make a table. fill out the table, print it out with a printer, take a picture of it in some shady location, and say, "Oh my God, super secret list."
Yeah, it's like a yearly event. The pre-E3 joke list.
Pre-E3 gags every year, which honestly, I keep getting less and less enthusiastic about E3.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, really? We're gonna go over games that we're not gonna see for another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It's fine. They already announced the one thing I wanted.
Out in 2 to 3 years, and I can play them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter. So I'm just curious, Kevin, how many Switch games do you have then? Is it just Mario?
Just Mario. I downloaded the demo for Octopath Traveler and a demo for the Kirby game, but I haven't touched them yet.
Octopath Traveler is decent.
All-Star Allies or something.
I'm having a tough time understanding a full price game, but it's Kirby. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I hear you.
I've seen the footage. It's standard side scrolly Kirby games. Like, come on. They need $80-$90. I mean, come on.
See, I can't even, like, it's cheaper. They're cheaper here in the US, and I'm like, Kirby for $60. You know how many Kirby games I've played? A lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many Kirby games I have? A lot. Do I need another Kirby game? No.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be the same damn thing over again. Oh boy, I can play this one with friends. Where the hell am I going to find friends that want to play a Kirby game?
Is that online or is it couch co-op?
Probably couch co-op. I'd be more surprised if it was online.
I hate when they do that. This day and age, like we've all said in this episode, how there's like no one around to play these things with in person. So
some people
does Sarah play games, Kevin?
Yeah, she plays games, but she's more into like the hidden object games.
Yeah.
And she plays a lot of DS games. Yeah. A lot of DS games, and like we play games together. Like we're a huge fan of the Borderlands series, so we play those together.
Mm-hmm. We'll get into it at the end, but I want to talk some State of Decay 2 with you guys. See what you think about that. But yeah, man, cost. It's a lot. You mentioned that it was going to cost you $500 for this system. It's going to cost you a hell of a lot more than $500. Yeah, the console is $394.49.
Yeah, so you got $400 for the
plus tax. Yeah.
Plus tax. Then you got the game. Plus
that's
tax.
$100 right there. You know.
And then you got the controller. You're going to need the Pro controller to play it.
I've been hearing, by the way, that the other controllers aren't nearly as good as the Pro controller. Like there's other companies like Corey or whatever that also make their own versions of that, but I hear none of them are very good. Those aren't cheaper though.
See, this is where I'm going to disagree and say you don't need the Pro controller.
You do.
You really don't.
You do. These thumbsticks just do not do justice, man.
I guess it's probably dumb to ask, but I'm guessing I can't use my Wii U controller.
You don't know Nintendo.
Oh, lordy. Where's my soundboard?
Hey, if you have the Wii U controller adapter for the Wii U GameCube controller adapter, you can plug that into your Switch dock and GameCube controllers work.
God.
I'm not kidding. I think I've heard other options of people playing weird controllers on their Switch somehow.
You can buy used. There's always used controllers. Used Switches. I mean, our local ads, I saw there's like a Switch and 3 games and protective case and all that for $500.
But
yeah, you can go that route. You also need a memory card depending on the game. Yes. I actually have gotten away with not using one, but I only have 3 things on here. So.
See, I've also got away with not using one, but that's because I look at games from like, you want me to download 23 gigs? And I'm instantly just like, no. Put it on the cart.
Yeah.
Put it on the freaking cart. Don't make me go spend $100 on a 128 gig SD card to slap into my friggin' Switch, just so I can download a couple games.
Don't get into PC gaming, Yoshi. Like 80 gigs for a game. Huh? That audio is uncompressed, y'all.
Well, at least that's one hard drive. I mean, it's for everything.
Right.
The Switch, like, it gives you that impression. Oh, I bought it physically, so now I've got the thingy in there. But it's like with PS4. Like one of my first observations was this is like there's nothing on the disc. It's just like a lock.
Pretty much.
I'll just buy the digital. Which, as you mentioned, like with the flash sales, if there's a game, like I also picked up that Wonder Boy game, and I wouldn't mind getting the disc version just for old.
See, that's modern gaming.
Sake, but
then again, we're at the point where it doesn't make sense to put games on disc that much anymore because you can't load from disc fast enough.
Right.
That's all. I think that's part of the issue is we're kind of like the processing powers outperforms the disc. That's why with like PS3, Xbox 360, you'd sit there and it would load forever. It would be sitting there reading crap off the disc.
Yeah, well, the
for
PS3
a minute, and then it has to put it all in memory and then process it and all the other.
There was a mandatory install for every PS3 game because it just can't, even the PS3, you just can't read that much information off a Blu-ray disc that fast.
Yep. Yeah. Which is part of why I do like the Switch game cards. But yeah, as far as cost goes, it will cost you a lot. But yeah, I do disagree. You can get by with just the dog bone controller for a while.
No, you can't.
Unless you're sport.
I'm sure you can, Yoshi, but I can't. I just
personal preference. I mean,
I actually haven't put my Joy-Cons into that thing yet. I refuse to do it. Yeah, I just refuse to do it. It looks stupid. The thumbsticks are stupid. Everything's stupid about it. I don't.
It's not horrible. Once
money well spent.
Hold it and use it. It's not horrible. It's more comfortable than the Switch in handheld mode.
I get it. It's for you, and that's cool. But I can't do it. Can't bring myself to do it.
I usually just end up holding them like this.
Yeah.
Because that is super comfortable for me.
I mean, like one of the best things about Monster Hunter World is that I've got that proper controller again and the big screen again. It's like that's fucking video games right there.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, like you're complaining about you're gonna find that with the portable mode on the Switch. You know, like you want games like Monster Hunter on the big screen with the proper controller, and that's how I feel every time I play a game on the portable. It's like I'd rather sit at a big screen and play it with a proper controller, or not play it at all.
I'm sure we've all seen on Twitter lots of people like, oh, I love the portable mode because I can do it if I'm raising a kid or something. And
I like the portable mode.
It's certainly it's an excellent.
Oh, absolutely!
It's one of the main selling points. So it's good to have that option.
It is for some people, and I get that. It's just I'm speaking for myself. You know,
that's all we're ever doing is speaking for us.
Right.
We're not popular enough to have the crazy people who say, oh, you're wrong about everything. I love when people complain about comments on things. Of course, people are going to disagree with some of the things you said. That's what people do.
Right.
It'll happen. So what? Who cares?
If we're not disagreeing, the world's going to get very boring very quickly.
People have been complaining now more than ever before, yet we've done less than ever before. That's the problem with Twitter. Like everyone's complaining about Trump or whatever, but it's like you're complaining about it on social media. So what? That's not going to change anything. Yeah. Who cares? He doesn't care. He's still doing whatever he's doing as president.
So I actually do have quite a decent amount of games on my Switch. I don't have a ton, but it is decent.
But you said you didn't buy an upgraded memory card to have them?
No. But then again, I'm mostly downloading like indie games, stuff that Kevin would want to play on PC.
Sure.
Or PC if you're big on Steam.
How much space does it give you at the start?
It's got like 20-some gigs, probably about like 25 gigs 20, or so.
Yeah,
25 to 30, somewhere around there. It's like 25 to 30 stock.
And is that
the OS and all the other stuff in it?
Is that in the hardware or is it just an SD card?
That's built in the the hardware.
That's good.
So you do have built-in storage. If you're trying to get off bare bones to start, yes, you can get by with just the dog bone for a week or two while you wait to get more money. You don't have to buy the Pro controller with the console right away.
Need it right away, Steven. Get it right away.
Oh, by the way, shout out to the bearded diver who was in the chat earlier. I talked with him on Derek's show.
Oh, yeah.
Dollar Dorks. Check out Dollar Dorks.
But I'm also a cheapskate and never bought a Pro controller for my Wii U. So I just used
that was a must
gamepad.
What?
Oh, that was a must too.
Oh, I mean, you just use the tablet?
Yeah. I just use the tablet for everything.
That's precious. I got one of those right there too. That's a good controller. The
is.
battery was amazing on the Wii U Pro controller.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like it barely ever had to recharge it, and that's with playing hundreds of hours in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, which was another.
I think Steven is going to get a Switch just to play Monster Hunter for it and nothing else.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm kind of worried about. But at the same time, with games are $100 each, then yeah, that's fine.
See,
I don't need to buy that many. All I need
I could see
is that
Steven
one game.
taking his Switch with him so he could play Monster Hunter on his way to work.
No, I just walk to work. It wouldn't work, but yeah, I feel you. The only time I ever do that is like if I do that Vancouver trip and I have to sit on the ferry because I'm on an island.
So, as far as to me, one of the accessories that I found essential right away was screen protector. As in, the first thing you should do when you open this is put a screen protector on it, because it is a plastic screen and it will scratch very, very easily.
Is it like the 3DS kind of feel to it, I guess? 3DS sort of screen?
Kind of, yeah. It's that cheap plastic screen Nintendo's been using on game consoles forever, because it doesn't shatter easily when you drop it. Well, no, the plastic type of covering, where it scratches easy, but it's durable, so if you drop it, it's not just going to shatter the entire glass screen.
Don't drop it. That's like my smartphone. I don't have anything on it, but I'm good with it.
Yeah, but that's also probably tempered glass. You can get a tempered glass screen protector and put it on here. Because people were noticing that the dock was scratching it. That doesn't surprise me. Pretty much like a coin will scratch the Nintendo Switch screen. So
that sucks.
Go spend an extra $10-15 on a screen protector. You can probably get a 2-pack.
Are they easy to apply? Are they the kind where you can just like peel them on and off?
They're generally pretty easy to. The one I got was fairly easy to apply. You just kind of cleaned it like it said, and then you like started from one edge and put it on. It only sucked because I went to put it on once, and then I screwed up and had it sideways, so I pulled it off and got a little bit of dirt on the one corner. So be careful when you're putting them on. I also recommend getting the tempered glass one because it'll just be more resistant to scratches. But I put that on here, and I haven't noticed it, and I barely notice it there at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like any device, like you said, like the tablets or the smartphones or whatever. You don't want to drop any of them on rocks.
Screen protect friend. Especially when it's like, plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that one game. If they just put it on this PS4, it wouldn't be a problem. If they just update World Bowl
on Switch.
Yeah, good game. I mean, I'm looking forward. Like I loaded up the 3DS game. I got that right here. I loaded up the other day, and like there are so many weapons in this game. I was just looking through the smithy. I was just looking through all the weapons. Like, god damn, they screwed us on. In World, like you'll have like the same basic look of a weapon 3 times over. There'll be like a slight variation. Like comparing that game to this game, there's just so much here in World. It just feels unfinished in comparison.
So this game that's coming out on the Switch, this Monster Hunter game, it's already on the 3DS?
Yeah, each Monster Hunter game, it starts like there's the basic version, but then they'll have like an additional, like what we call Ultimate, and that adds like an extra difficulty. So I'm pretty much done in this one, but I didn't do all that much because every Monster Hunter does this Ultimate version, except for World. We're still waiting for anything to happen on World. They're working on stuff, but we don't know what's going on. So this game is pretty much World is done for now. Like there's a different quest they add and take away every now and then, and it's kind of fun, but there's really no reason to keep going back to it, especially when there's so many games. Of course, it's got the multiplayer aspect. I've got my PS4 Hunter Bros, and we'll always chat on Discord or whatever and play the game, and that's always a fun time. So that's the main draw for this. But as far as the game itself, like compared to the one coming out for the Switch, there's just going to be so much more to do in that. But the tricky thing there is now the one on PS4 World has done a ton of updates to the actual gameplay. It's a lot more fluid, natural feeling game. Like the other games always kind of had like that PS2 feel to them, kind of crunchy, kind of could be a lot better, but it's very couple gens ago. You know what I mean? Like this has like that modern game feel to it, which is much appreciated. So when I went back to playing the 3DS one the other day, I could definitely feel some differences. They're not necessarily worse, but it's just they're very different games at this point now. Same, but very different.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of thing you'll definitely notice if you put hundreds of hours into a game.
But
it's like if they did Team Fortress and then something else. I don't know. Team Fortress Battle Royale. I wouldn't be
that could
surprised.
Happen.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Yeah, everything's Battle Royale. Monster Hunter Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Yeah. Monster
Animal Crossing Battle Royale. Let's go. I'll buy that for $90.
Because I mean, I do have it. I am starting to get a decent library on here, but it is taking a while. But as far as what I have on my Switch right now, Shanti Half Genie Hero, the Project Octopath Traveler demo. There's a Blaster Master Zero demo. Let's see. I downloaded the Mighty Gunvolt Burst demo just because whatever. Sonic Mania, which most of you are probably gonna get an
I'm gonna buy that. There's like a special edition coming out, and that's actually physical on PS4. So once again, I know it's just locking the game, but physical, it is a draw.
You could get that on the Switch too, so take your pick.
I don't have one yet.
Yeah,
maybe by the end of the month if I'm.
Let's see.
But
I have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I have physical. I like that game.
Mario Tennis Aces.
There's a Lost Spear demo. Once again, let's see.
Hyrule Warrior actually looks like a pretty smart buy because that was always a big game. And as I understand,
Hyrule Warriors,
everything finally.
I'm actually half tempted to sell off my Wii U version to buy the Switch version because it has all the DLC already built in.
Just said that. Oh, you.
Sorry,
but yeah, exactly.
But as far as the other stuff, I mean, I got what is it? Hiragana already on here, which is some weird Japanese rhythm game where you try to teach yourself hiragana. It pretty much pops up what it looks like and the sound, and you just hit buttons, the right button. It's not very deep.
I kind of like this Mario Rabbids game. I like what they're trying with it. I just hate Rabbids so much.
I think that turned into a good strategy. I think that's a PG style Mario game, but I don't know. I never really got into it. I looked at it and went, "What the no?"
It's just got that taint of Rabbids and Ubisoft, and it's like that's not why you buy Nintendo games. You buy it for weird, wacky Nintendo, and then how did this happen? I'm upset that the game seems appealing, but then the Rabbids, and it's like, ugh. Might as well be those stupid minions. That's the same thing.
I also have Doom, which is self-explanatory, but you can probably buy it elsewhere for cheaper. So unless having, being able to play Doom on a subway or, wherever the hell you want is appealing to you, just buy it on the PC or one of the consoles.
Like I said, I'm playing GBA. That's all the portable I need right now. I don't need Switch to be portable. I'll probably just, like you said, have it docked the whole time with the Pro Controller.
Yeah.
By the way, you'll find that dock. You'll find that dock to be very cheap and flimsy. There's not much to that thing at all. It's just a hunk of plastic.
Yeah, it is basically a formed hunk of plastic with a friggin' HDMI port inside.
Yeah.
Which they're releasing a newer charger dock, which what the hell? You should have just had it like that in the first place where you don't have the entire front of the console slid into something where you can just scratch it. I don't know.
There's a redesign around the corner. As soon as I buy the Switch, that's a week after that, that's when they announce the redesign that fixes all those things.
It's coming. I bet you the first thing they'll do is they'll take the power on the bottom and they'll move it somewhere else because it doesn't make any sense to have it on the bottom.
Yeah, put it on the top.
Because if you want to charge it while you're playing it and you put it down on the desk like that, you can't do it.
Oh no, they're actually making a special dock for you to be able to do that.
Oh, are they? How much is that going to be?
Like $20-$30.
Yeah, of course.
US.
Plus another $20 for Nintendo tax.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada. Oh, but yeah.
Like they have Trump, but we still have these costs, so I don't know what's going on.
I will say this.
Come on,
I do
Justin.
wish there was more video streaming apps on this thing, because all you have right now is Hulu. And Hulu's okay, but it's
I don't even
Hulu.
use those streaming things.
We don't even have Hulu in Canada.
See?
So we got nothing to stream.
You guys got nothing.
No.
I think Japan got some anime streaming app. You can go to the that's when you can actually go in your Nintendo ID, change your region to wherever the hell in your world you want, and download their eShop games.
Mm.
Well, like we mentioned before, the streaming Resident Evil, there's definitely more features.
Your money and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I almost did that back when I was looking for some games that I think got released in Japan, but not over here. Mm-hmm. Like, you can literally go switch your Nintendo account to a Japanese account, and then go download Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch. Ooh. Or not Dragon Quest 10 on the Switch right now. Of course, it's all going to be in Japanese, and you're going to be sitting there going, I can't read any of this.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's cool. You can do it.
One of my Hunter Bros actually bought a Switch for the Japanese version of the game I want, and he barely even plays it.
Really?
Oh, boring. What a character. Switch.
I do like it. I do like the console. I'm just waiting for it to have,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's got that hip coolness to it. It's like...
Well, I'm just waiting for, like, to me, I don't have a PS4. I don't have an Xbox One. I have a PC, but I don't want to play on it. Yes, so to me... I like seeing that it's getting ports because it gives me a chance to play games that I've been interested in, but I'm like, I don't want to go spend another $200 on a game console that I'm not going to play.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's why I don't knock it for having ports, because there is an audience out there for them, so it makes sense.
It's doing it.
But just, I can understand how you're just looking at it like it's a Mario box.
Yeah.
No, that's why we buy Nintendo. We buy the Nintendo systems for the Nintendo games. Everything else is just like, it's a side note.
Steven, you're gonna buy it for a Monster Hunter box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Have you seen those weapons?
And then
the armor is a lot better looking too. It's a lot more interesting.
If you don't see from Steven in a while, after he gets a Switch, assume he got lost in Monster Hunter.
It's a great game to stream too. Like even World, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I could stream it, I could not stream it. I was streaming to listen to music one time. Like, that's fine, but I don't necessarily need to.
See, there are a few little things I do like about the Switch. How, like, if you stick it in docked mode, like you just stick it in the dock, it'll turn your TV on if you have it set up properly, and your TV accepts that.
That's weird.
Which is
I do like the standby mode as well. Like I think I loaded Mario once. Like when I first put the game in, I loaded it.
Yeah, and then it's just sitting there on standby.
Yeah, on standby. So I do really like that. That's really nice.
I will warn you, with some games, like games that have a lot of cutscenes and stuff, that can cause some issues, and the game can crash. I've had a few games crash where I left them running for like 2 or 3 days in the background and then came back. So don't make a habit of leaving for like a week at a time and coming back for certain games.
I gotta take a 5-minute break. I'll be right back.
He'll be back. Yeah, it's tough, I guess.
Gives me a chance to like compile a short list of games coming out.
Yeah. It's certainly easier to just live in a world where you don't have as many consoles. It's just less to consider.
Honestly, I think P1 made a tweet recently about feeling like he's about ready to go back to only having one console.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why, because I look at these games and I'm just like, I love all these games, but like, why? It's a lot of space. I mean,
we are the consumers. We must consume.
Well, I'm half tempted to go and like cram them down so that they'll like pile it on top of each other more, and they take up less space. But then I can have more room for other things instead of having shelves everywhere.
Yeah, I'm looking at the games. There's plenty of good games, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, if like I've got the PS4, that's done. So, but PS4 doesn't have Monster Hunter Gen Ult. That's That's where it all. That's really what it comes to. That's why people always hate on the Xbox One nowadays, because they're like, "Where are the exclusives?" There's a couple. They're actually in my the end of the show list, which is good. But I kind of don't like theirs has a different feel to it. Like it's just weird. Like because State of Decay 2 is such a game that's more or less exclusive now to Microsoft. It might come to Steam and other things later, but at least for now it's exclusive. But it's weird because State of Decay original was on Steam, but the sequel isn't because it's on the Microsoft Store now. So they're kind of like taking exclusives instead of making exclusives, and I don't like that feeling so much. And they've got a thing now where it's like if you buy the physical disc for the Xbox One version, you won't be able to cross-platform it between the PC and the Xbox One, but if you buy it digitally, you can. So I'm like, why not just put a little code into the physical disc? Why make the disc version so pointless compared to the digital one? It's weird. Why would they do that?
I think I don't know, man.
That's Microsoft. That's a different story.
I tried getting into like PS. I can't even get into PS. I just have like asking for most of the modern gaming. Like, I'm not there.
Yeah.
Like I just realized like what I like is just niche of games. A certain niche of games like old school platformers, RPGs, beat 'em ups, etc. Like the games I like. There's just niche of a certain type of games I like. So why am I bothering to buy games that don't make any sense?
Yeah.
Or why should I sit there and bother to keep track of like all these games coming out when most of them I look at and I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
you know, I don't care about a lot of these shooters coming out. Like some of them look nice. Like Doom looks really good, and I actually wanted to play that for quite a while. But that's probably why I bought the Switch version.
Mm-hmm. There's some interesting games coming out. Crystal Crisis, you see that one? With all those Nicalis characters squished together in a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Just looking at it on Amazon here. It's I don't think I'd buy it, but
that's actually another one of the ways to find Switch games is you just have to sit there and dig through Amazon and realize that half of them aren't out yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like that on all the things really. None of them have really great system.
And I know if you're in the US and you have a Prime membership, I highly recommend buying Switch games before they release through Amazon Prime if you know it's something you want, because you'll save 20%. But so I'm tempted to pick up like.
See, that's why you guys have all those games to trade in, because you bought them without knowing if you really wanted them or not.
See, I really don't, though, because most of the games I have are stuff I want. But for certain systems, I have some crap where I'm just like, why? Why did you buy this? Like for Wii, I don't know why I have No More Heroes. I'm probably never going to play that.
Yeah, not great.
What else?
Not awful. Yeah.
You know, it's not. I'm not saying it's an awful game. It's just like, why? Why do I have that? I'm never going to play it.
Yeah.
There's certain games for like the Genesis. I'm starting to wonder why I have a Saturn right now.
Yeah.
Like I have zero interest in the majority of Saturn games. And like I've playing the Saturn and I'm just kind of like, I don't care. The games I want for the Saturn are like hundreds of dollars. So it's kind of like, I don't care.
Have you picked up Dragon Quest Builders yet? That's a good game. That's a good game, and it's on the Switch.
I've heard it's a good game, but I'm also not a big fan of Minecraft.
I love Minecraft.
It's more Dragon Quest than Minecraft. We just got to Dragon Quest Builders talk. That's a good game. And there's
looking at stuff coming out in recent releases. I take it.
So. Yeah, it's on the way. There's a Yoshi game coming out. Oh, $99.99. Oh no! Don't tell me there's another price hike coming.
So no, they do that right when they haven't got the manufacturer's resale price.
Yeah, we went over
so
that.
they just they just jack it up to $100 and then.
I was really just trolling people that time. I don't even remember what game it was, but it's like, oh my god, this game's. I think I'm at Mario Odyssey actually. You're talking like a $99.99 at EB Games.
Yeah.
Good test. Alrighty. How are we doing here? Anything else we want to talk for Switch? We talked about some games, talked about some accessories, talked about the cost, why people bought them, talked about Lab a bit.
None of us tried it.
Anything coming out you're looking forward to as far as Switch games? We'd mentioned Metroid, of course.
Yeah.
And Octopath Traveler seems popular.
I'm really looking forward to Ease 8. Let's see.
Which is out already on other devices, but
yeah, which is just kind of annoying.
It's an expensive game too.
Huh?
It's an expensive game, even on those other consoles. It's PS4.
See, that's why I'm not really. I wouldn't feel too bad about spending the like $50 or whatever US it'll cost me to get it as a pre-order. As far as other games I'm looking at, like I'm looking into some of like the NIS America type JRPGs and stuff that come out.
Yeah.
Like, because I like that those niche Japanese RPG games. A lot of the time, there's a couple of dungeon crawlers and stuff like that seem to be coming out soon. I know I saw a couple things on Amazon where it's like, hey, pre-order this, and then I click on it, and it's like September or November. I know that Shining Resonance Refrain's coming out for the Switch.
That looks pretty good.
That's one I'm really looking forward to. But overall, like, yeah, we're getting stuff like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy whenever that comes out. You're getting stuff like Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
They have a Code of Princess EX remake coming, or re-release. So that's basically, you know, a 3DS game where they're upgrading it for Switch.
I didn't like it on 3DS, but it might be better on a bigger screen.
You didn't like it on the 3DS?
No, it was very small. Very small.
Isn't there's a Bayonetta game, right? Bayonetta 3, isn't that coming out?
Yes. Bayonetta 3 is coming out. No idea when.
Brothers.
Yeah, who knows when that's going to be out.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ikaruga is there in a few days.
Travis Strikes Again. That's another game that I'm looking forward to. No More Heroes.
Yeah. Yoshi mentioned that briefly.
Yeah, I mentioned the Wii version and wondering why I have it, because I've never played it and I have no inclination to pop that into my Wii.
Out of all the quirky Japanese games you're into, you haven't played the one quirky Japanese game that I'm into.
So you're selling me, don't sell it, try it before you go to sell it off.
I would try it.
Always try it,
yeah.
Really,
which is actually
No More Heroes 2 is the better game. It's really good. As far as I'm concerned, it's like janky, you know, but it's janky in that good Japanese sort of way.
Yeah, well, there's stuff coming. I mean,
because I also know there's that Battle Chasers Night War that just came out. I know P1 picked that up. I don't know if he's got a chance to play it yet. I'm not super interested in it.
I think I have that on the Xbox, Battle Chasers.
Yeah, it's on all those games.
Yeah, but that's like most of the games. Like everything's coming out on everything now.
Yeah.
So, which I think going into the future, you're going to see that, like, okay, you can pick up a new game. It's going to have a Switch version. It's going to have a PS4 version. It's going to have an Xbox version, and it's going to have a PC version. Pick one.
Yeah, no, that's all it's ever really been.
You know, not really, because the last couple generations, Nintendo just got like shafted, really.
No, well, that was their fault. They made their choices with the Wii. Every game was like its own thing, which is kind of neat in it was very like Super Nintendo Genesis, so you'd have like the same brand, but it'd be a completely different game on the different consoles. That was always neat.
Because what was it like? I rented a Call of Duty game on the Wii.
Was it a light gun shooter?
Basically.
Yeah.
It was a point the remote at the screen and hit the B button shooter.
Perfect. Like their Dead Space on the Wii, that was a good game. I like that one.
Extraction,
Yeah, and it was just another light gun shooter. That's one of the best genres of games on the Wii.
Oh, definitely.
I was listening to what is it? Collector Cast show, RF Generation Playcast, and they were talking about some random shooter game, and that in the Wii version, it was just another light gun shooter. It sounded pretty neat in that version. Normally,
it was a Tom Clancy, right?
Yeah,
RF Playcast. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those games are normally very complicated. Like it's like a team-based running, like very realistic game.
Yeah, you got to hold down 5 buttons to shoot someone.
Yeah, like they always seem like too much work, but the Wii version actually sounded a lot more appealing just because it was a basic arcade shooting game.
There are a couple more like AAA Switch games, but stuff like Atelier, Lydia and Swill, the newest one of that came out, which, yeah, that's generally why.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
it's
don't worry
basically a Gust, very like stylized anime, pretty RPG.
You're telling this to Kevin. I mean, they're on opposite sides of the spectrum.
There's also like that's the issue. Is that most of the games that are on here right now are just like why, like Galgun 2.
Now that's something different. I might need to look into that one.
Yeah, you can get Galgun 2 on your Switch.
Yeah, I think it's on PS4 anyways. But anyways, all right, I'm ready to move. I'm done. I just want to saunter. It's been a couple hours now. I think we should get going. So we just have a couple more segments to go. So that was our talk on the Switch. So we've got a couple interesting news topics real quick, and then we'll wrap it up with some looking forward, and we'll pimp everyone's social medias and shows again. And sounds good. So for interesting news, I just have a couple things. Neo Geo recently announced that they're getting into the plug and play scene, along with obviously Nintendo was the big one with their NES Classic and SNES Classics. Then you got other things like the retro bit generations. If you get the plug and play for the Genesis, that one's apparently kind of iffy. Apparently it's good, maybe not great. I don't know.
The Genesis thing's made by Ad Games, so as soon as you see that company's logo on a box, you should just put it back and walk away.
Victor Lucas and Johnny Millennium actually did a stream playing that Genesis one, and they seem to have a good enough time. I'm not overly picky. I know there's this weird subclass of like retro gamers who need to have everything on the most like current gen, as make things as crisp and as clean as they can, even though we're talking about old things. And I think that's kind of interesting because when I think of retro games, I always think of that TV over there, just like you turn the CRT on and you hear that crunchiness, you know, like you get like the static on the screen, there's dust, everything's a bit fuzzy. See, that's retro gaming to me. That's the feel I want for my retro gaming. But then you get these other people who just are so demanding.
See, I'm like in between. I'm really in between where like I like seeing crisp pictures, but like I just want S video or higher. Like I just want it so that it doesn't look like someone smeared Vaseline on my TV.
That's retro gaming, man. It's like the Nintendo 64. Hey. People want that potato style.
Well, I was having a
they want the fog and the brown and the gray and the
I was having a conversation about
and
that
the ghosts and all of that.
Local game store earlier, where we're pretty much like, the majority of people don't care about are not going to care with these old games about it looking super crisp and looking as HD as your PS4, Xbox Ones, etc. It doesn't need to look that crisp. They just want a picture on a screen, man.
Yeah.
Like the majority of people, like you could bring them in and put like a monitor with a super crisp picture on it and one next to it, and then we're like, I don't care. I just see a game on a screen. I see a picture on a screen. Yeah, that one looks better. I don't know why, but that one looks better. But I don't care. Both are fine.
I think on Twitter, Duke from Retro Nonsense had posted a picture of he's playing some retro game on a retro TV, and he's like, I get these like squiggly lines on the screen, and like, yeah, that's retro gaming right there. Jiggle the cord and you're good.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you want. You want them squiggly lines though. That's good right there. But anyways, do you guys have an interest in Neo Geo plug and play? It looks like it's got a little joystick built in. That's kind of cool, but.
Well, I was kind of interested in the last Neo Geo handheld thing that came out, but after realizing it was really crappy build quality and was basically really cheap and just, overall crap.
Was that the
What X? Was it? Yeah, the Gold X or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically just
I got one quality. Of those. I have one.
It'd be neat to have one, but I'm sure I would never play it.
It's not good. No, it's one of my biggest regrets.
Oh, did you buy it? like right away.
Yeah. I bought that instead of the Wii U. I had a choice between that or the Wii U, and I like, you know what? I'm gonna get this Neo Geo thing. And
then
I
you
realized
instantly regretted it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say instantly, but after a while, I did regret it, especially when it, there wasn't going to be more games that came out for it, and it turned out to be hard to jailbreak because the way to do it is they reverse like an SD card. You got to put in like a reverse SD card, and it's just really weird. Anyways, wasn't impressed with that, and then I learned something else too, that I'm not really a big fan of Neo Geo games.
They're on every console already digitally.
Yeah, I love Metal Slug. I love that series. That's great. But the rest of it's all fighting games, and I'm really not into fighting games at all. They're just not my bag.
That's a lot of the issue I think I'm gonna have when I get into Neo Geo is I don't like fighting games that much either. I like playing one occasionally. There might be stuff like Magician Lord and like a couple of the SNK arcade games that I might be interested in.
Yeah,
but
there is a few.
SNK arcade, what is it? SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1.
Yeah, exactly.
It has everything I need Neo Geo wise on it.
So I think I have one too on the Wii or something.
I can go download Magician Lord, which is one of the games I'm interested in on this Neo Geo for like $8 on the Switch. So like, why? Oh, that's another thing the Switch has. It has a couple of arcade ports for like $8.
Yeah.
So it has all those really good.
I got all those on my Xbox, on my modded Xbox.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, there you go. Multi-carts. It's an option. But yeah, I mean, it's neat. I'm certainly keen to see when it comes out what games it comes with, and I don't even want to look it up. I don't care if it's the price is right. I'll buy it. If not, I don't know. It's like the Genesis one. No, Kevin actually has the Atari plug and play. What did you think of that?
Oh yeah. Well, after Yoshi dumped all over At Games, I have an At Games plug and play for the Atari. No, I agree with you. When it comes to Sega, At Games does not seem to know their ass from a hole in the ground. They really don't know what they're doing. But their Atari stuff is okay.
Well, yeah. That's because the Atari stuff, the ColecoVision stuff, everything else is probably okay. I should have clarified. If it says At Games and Sega on it, run.
Right, yes.
If it says At Games and Atari, it's an Atari. That is like, I can buy a freaking microprocessor and probably emulate an Atari on it.
Yeah.
Sure.
A little microcontroller, probably get an Atari to work on it.
If you get the, I think it's the Flashback 8 Gold Edition, you're in for an okay time. Because that's my official stance on that system. It's okay. You get 100
Atari.
Right.
It's hard to screw that up.
Yeah.
Well, the Atari games are they're Atari games, and there's 100 of regular Atari games, and then there's 20 Activision games, which are really the best. It's not something that's going to replace your you're still better off getting an original Atari to play those games. Especially the cost was 100 after taxes, and it's handy to have the HDMI out. And I probably will, like if I was into streaming or doing a YouTube video of it. It's handy for that if you have the games on there. The features on it aren't that great. Like it has a rewind feature, but it only rewinds 7 seconds. And it rewinds exactly 7 seconds and starts playing back, and you have to hit the button to like exactly where you want to get to. So it's not really much of a
to do that for an Atari game.
And and there is save states, but what do you really need save states for on an Atari game unless you're trying to save high scores or something like that? But just pull out your smartphone and take a photo of the screen. But the biggest knock against it is the paddle controllers don't really work that well. So it comes with a set of controllers, and the set of controllers it comes with, I'm actually impressed with. It works really nice. And the player one controller has all the buttons right on the controller, like all those Atari switches and that. It's all right on the controller. It all works, and it works really well. But the paddle games, of course, they don't work well with that controller. But it does have a couple of ports where you can put some old school paddle controllers into it. But they don't really work that well. It's very touchy. Like you move it just a little bit, and it the thing flies across the screen. It doesn't have that feel, that original Atari feel. So and there's no SD slot for you to, import more games into it. You're stuck with the 120 games that are on it.
Oh no!
Unless you know how to
Only
hack the
Well,
damn
it sounds
thing.
like a lot, but when you're talking Atari
Yeah,
games,
they're
you're
like
talking
one-screen games.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Wow.
playing. You're gonna play it for 10 minutes, and then you're gonna move on to the next one. So
Yeah.
it's okay. It's an okay system. If you can find one for cheap, like for around $50, sure, pick it up.
Hey, let's be honest. You may play it for 15 or 20.
Well, no, I do play it quite. Like I have used it quite a bit. But
probably for certain
like,
games a lot more than others.
Yeah, like that, like Sequest or whatever. But yeah, it's still just get. I have the original console though too. So
yeah. It was a thing to
plug
buy.
that in.
Yeah.
And even for the games again, but there's a mini Sega Genesis collection coming out.
I love that thing. I love the handheld Atari thing. I use that all the time because you do have an SD card slot in it. So you hear about an Atari game or someone does a video on it, right? Yeah, I can just go. I could pick that thing up and I could try it right away.
So they made a handheld Atari.
Yeah, and I love it. It kicks ass, man. The only thing is that it has like a D-pad on it, and it's kind of wonky. It's like one of those ones where it just sticks in the middle, and the D-pad kind of floats around.
Yeah.
But to pick it up and to just try games, it's like, am I gonna like this or whatever? It's perfect for that. So I do like that thing. And the battery, I mean, it lasts forever. It's running Atari games on this small little screen. So I think I charged it once.
Well, one thing I have noticed with a lot of these plug and plays is once you get past like the 8-bit era, like ones that try to do like 16-bit always end up crap.
Yeah.
Unless it's made by Nintendo, where they actually put the time and effort into making it properly. But like,
well, didn't Nintendo get
stuff?
Isn't it questionable about where Nintendo got some of the ROMs on their systems? Like, didn't people go into the coding and found out that they were taken from the internet? Like the original guys who actually put the original ROMs on the internet, they went in, they said, "Hey, that's my code in there." Isn't that interesting?
That wouldn't surprise me.
It's payback time.
That would not surprise me at all because, like, I'd be surprised if Nintendo still has source code from some of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably easier to go download a ROM of it off the internet and to re-get the source code than, No,
that's what they did, yeah.
It's funny because we pay because we think there's work going into the things, but
right. Yeah.
Oh, there is work that goes into it, but it's like engineering the boards for it and the case and all the other crap and all the real marketing.
Work on those games. The real work on those games were done 30 years ago, so you don't really need to keep.
That's why they can bundle them all together like that and sell it for $60. You think Nintendo would do that if they didn't already make all their money on those games? Hell no.
I mean, like SNES Classic, it's got Earthbound on it, it's got the Super Metroid, it's got the Donkey Kong Country, it's got the Mega Man X. That's a hell of a good time right there. Dude, buy the one thing and off you go, which is great for the common man who got rid of all that stuff decades ago and still remembers.
Heck, I'm half tempted to go buy one and sell off half my games.
Yeah, you should.
I've been half tempted to, but at the same time, I'm like,
go ahead.
I don't want to.
Why not though? Go get her. Get her done.
Just get a retro Pi, Yoshi. Do a retro Pi, and then sell off all your games.
There you go. Options are there.
Well, for certain consoles, maybe. Like, I am probably going to sell off a good bit of my NES collection. Try and nab that down to under 100 games. Because there's stuff I have, like Tecmo Bowl. I don't care about Tecmo Bowl. Why do I have Tecmo Bowl?
I'm looking for Tecmo Bowl. I need that game.
Really?
I'll work it out.
Yeah.
I got a copy of it.
It costs too much to ship it here. I can probably find it for $5 around here. You end up spending $20 to ship it here.
If you ever come to Chicago this summer.
And it's not happening this summer. Maybe next summer.
Chicago.
Or I ever managed to make it up to Canada.
Yeah.
Go to Ontario. Go to Tirana.
Go to Canada. Gotta go get some data from Canada.
Get some poutine at the Canada, eh? Anyways, I got one more interesting news piece. So Monster Hunter the movie is still a thing. It's a live action movie where like people from the regular world have monsters introduced into their worlds. I don't know. I want to see it. It's probably dumb though. And to confirm that, we've the announcement that Mila Jovovich is going to be starring in it. So I mean, you know what you're getting into right there. Campy good time, maybe. Capcom. I don't know. They do interesting things with their movies. You know Uwe Boll, right? The guy who did the controversial video game movies. He was saying on Twitter recently that the House of the Dead movies were like written. Everything was as Sega told him to make them. Like it's like with Michael Bay in the Transformers movie. Everyone just says, "Oh, Michael Bay, he's the worst." But like
he was
with this
probably
one,
told to make them that way.
Yeah, like he was just following orders basically, as far as like if you want the job, this is how we want you to do it, and that's how it was made. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Though I think there's generally with most of that media, there's a disconnect between what the internet wants, what the general public wants, and what the company wants to make.
Yeah, I mean fanboys. I mean you're screwed. Like it's not in there, but that recent Thundercats Roar image where they're all like goofy, like super deformed Steven Universe kind of graphics style, and everyone's losing their shit about it. And just and it is what it is. I mean, watch it, don't watch it. I like Teen Titans. I like Teen Titans Go. They're fun. You don't have to watch it. We don't want to. Anyways, yeah, Monster Hunter.
Regardless of how the movie is,
actually a thing.
It's not going to ruin your childhood.
Yeah. Anyways, that's about it for the show. So let's wrap things up with a bit of looking forward, and everyone can get another pimp out for their podcasts, their Twitters, or nothing, whatever you wanted. So start with Kevin. Kevin, want to tell us a bit of what you're looking forward to?
Yeah, we went to see Black Panther a couple of weeks ago, and during that show, or before that show started, they rolled down a trailer for Ant-Man 2. And Sarah and I looked at each other and we said, yeah, we're going to go see Ant-Man 2. So looking forward to that when that comes out. As for video games, I really like the new Tomb Raider series. Like even before, like since Crystal Dynamics took over, even before the reboot, starting back at Legends, I've enjoyed every single Tomb Raider game. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider is coming out later this year. I probably will wait for it to go on sale. I probably won't pre-order it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to Red Dead 2. Again, I probably will be playing God of War when Red Dead 2 comes out, and then I'll get Red Dead 2 whenever the next big game comes out and Red Dead 2 goes down in price. So.
Fair enough.
Hey, that's a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
These days,
that's it. That's all I'm looking forward to.
Now I have to figure out what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Let's see. I'm definitely looking forward to Ys 8, but I think I've already said that. I have to wait for that. As far as things I already have that I'm probably looking forward to get into after I finish what I'm already playing, well, I'm looking forward to finishing Phantasy Star 4. I'm also looking forward to maybe starting Xenosaga 3 and trying Axiom Verge, because I haven't tried Axiom Verge yet. So I tried more to focus on stuff that I have than what I don't have, because I already have too many games that I don't play. So that's what happens when you get tons of these games. You eventually stop caring because you have a backlog longer than what you're willing to, play. Than what you can even play, realistically. Like what I already have, it's going to take me years to play through. I could probably not buy another game for the next 5 or 6 years and still not run out of games.
I could probably not buy another game for the rest of my life and have enough to fill out the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling with media at this point. It's like we're overrun by it, and I'm like, there's plenty of old media I like. I don't really care about half the new stuff that comes out, so whatever. Just no reason to try and keep up with everything.
I think we lost Steven.
Yeah, we totally did lose Steven. He's forever twiddling his thumbs. I think his computer died on him.
I think I'll send him a message on Twitter.
See if he comes back. there's anything else I'm looking forward to. Getting over these injuries.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're still alive.
His power went out.
Yeah. Joe's still going. Yes. For now.
Well, I don't know. What do we do? Do we wrap up his show for him?
I have no idea. I don't know what he wants us to do.
I got a hard out. I gotta leave in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I've also been sitting for longer than I like to sit at the moment. He'll see if he can rejoin. Okay, Stephen. Please excuse the technical difficulties.
Hopefully he'll edit this out.
I doubt it. Come on. It's Stephen.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
The more editing. None of that editing stuff.
Does he even put this into editing software? Well, yeah, it's music, so it's got to go into editing software at some point.
Yeah, but all I've noticed is video editing and audio editing is a lot of work that I don't really enjoy.
Video editing is a lot of work. Audio's not too bad. Audio's manageable. For me, anyways.
Yeah, I never really had much training in audio editing, though, or any sort of editing. Just kind of you sit there and clip stuff.
Yeah. The worst is going through raw footage. That's the most time consuming. When you take all the footage from a video game and it's like, okay, I got like 3 hours worth of, and now it's like I gotta go through it all and try to find where I did something or whatever.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there because it's like I already played through this, and it's kind of boring watching me play through it again.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and go, wow, I was stupid there. I could have done this instead. That's what happens whenever I watch myself play games back or watch replays of games. I'm like, man, why did I do that? It apparently hit his
Power's back on,
whole building.
Hit the whole building, and you thought you had issues with thunderstorms.
Poor guy. Yeah. So I pulled out this SNK Arcade Classics and started looking at it and realized this has like all of the Neo Geo games I'd ever give a damn about.
Yeah, I think I have that too. I think.
You know, what is it? Art of Fighting, don't care. Baseball Stars 2, that's probably one of the most fun ways to play baseball in video games, so sure. What is it? Burning Fight, never heard of it. Fatal Fury, meh. Stuff that I care about though is like Magician Lord and Metal Slug. That's pretty much all I really give a damn about.
I have the Metal Slug anthology, and that's good times.
Yeah. There's a couple of those games that are good times. Just, but I have noticed like my buying habits are much different. I tend to just buy like cared about and wanted to play instead of, random games.
Yeah, collecting crap, trying to find that hidden gem. I've gotten away from that too.
Trying to find that hidden gem or trying to find deals.
Yeah.
Trying to find deals on games, you end up with like boxes full of junk. Because it's like, oh yeah, I'll sell you all these games for like $50. And you look at it, and there's like 1 or 2 games in here you want, and 20 you don't care about. That's why I stopped doing that. I mean, yeah, people do it, and like I'm pretty sure people make decent money like doing that on yard sales and finding those deals and reselling the ones they don't want. But to me, it's too much hassle. I mean, I find it a hassle to even like sit down and play games half the time. It's all the other stuff I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's not going to get any better.
I think